Hello, good evening, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back once again to the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. I'm 3foot007. I'm back with Sir Waltham, and god damn it, is it good to be here.
Yeah, we're having a little bit of a start issue here to go, but I think we are right and ready to go with it. That's why we got the giggles just a little bit. Tonight we're going to be watching the losers bracket match between SkyeBurn and Nevermore. Pretty excited to see these two teams. They've made it a long way.
Yea, verily, not just any losers bracket round. This is the penultimate match in the losers/lower bracket, if we're being generous, as there is a semifinals match which is going to send one more loser down, and the winner of this game is going to fight that individual, and finally we'll send them to the finals. For now, though, SkyeBurn, eSports, and Nevermore are definitely in a fight for their tournament lives.
Yeah, as is usual with any team that happens upon the losers bracket here in the Overwatch Watchers Brawl. One loss here means that you are out of the tournament for the month, kissing goodbye to that sweet moolah we have lined up at the end of the month.
And yeah, so this is kind of a big deal. We're going to be starting out on Hanamura, by the way, Sir Waltham. So as far as matches go for money, I wouldn't bet anything on Hanamura, but what's your take on it?
Oh, you kind of nailed it there. There's not anything that's too definite. In this tournament, I've kind of gotten used to expecting anything, and Hanamura is one of those maps where that is especially true. You know, there's a certain kind of set that we expect for a lot of different maps. You know, usually the pirate ship for something along the lines of Junkertown. Lijiang, the different sub-maps have different compositions there that we like to see. But Hanamura, especially on defense, I feel like it could really be a whole swath of different players and characters that I think I don't want to put any money down on anything coming out of the gate at any given point, honestly.
Yeah, that's pretty much the long and short of it. The Hanamura matchup is pretty cray, and honestly, we've been trolling around all in the Overwatch community here lately. There has actually kind of been a little bit of a meta shakeup, almost behind the scenes in the in-between downtime between the pros sharpening their fingers and getting ready to rustle up some good solid play, and now here we are in this particular tournament, and I honestly have no idea what's going to be coming out of here. The last few games that I've personally been a part of have been a little kind of wonky, and the words triple DPS have been tossed around, but honestly in the Overwatch Watchers Brawl, we're no strangers to some crazy compositions.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where, you know, ever since we saw that some massive Hammond plays come out, I think it was in the second or even the first month, everything's just been off the rails since then. But looking at these teams, if I'm trying to gauge them objectively, you know, like a viewer would just looking at our brackets for the first time, you have to think Nevermore, they got knocked into the losers bracket a little bit later than SkyeBurn. That might set them up for a little bit more favorable of a position, considering they just stayed with those top teams in the main bracket for a little bit longer. And, I mean, they're going to have to definitely show it if they want to get back up there.
Yeah, Nevermore just got knocked down by Citizens, which, as many of you who have known, who have been following the Overwatch Watchers Brawl, the Citizens have just been on an absolute rampage, 3-0ing literally every team they've gone up against. They are, however, about to go up against a team who has also 3-0'd literally everyone they've come up against, so that'll be a fun match. But for now, Nevermore has also been on a bit of a tear themselves. Now, on the other hand, SkyeBurn eSports had to rip, bite, claw, scratch, and tear their way through the lower bracket, and they have done a fantastic job for themselves. So in terms of lower bracket matches, SkyeBurn eSports is significantly more practiced than ever Nevermore at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. If we want to talk about lower bracket stats a little bit here, SkyeBurn in the 3 rounds, including this one that they've been, or 4 rounds, excuse me, including this one that they've been in the lower bracket, they've only lost 2 maps. That's not even 2 rounds, that's just the actual maps themselves. It's going to be, if I bring up my stat cheat sheet here, 1 against Metamorphic and 1 against Team G1. So way back in, you know, the earlier rounds. But as we're going to be hopping onto Hanamura here, not quite sure, as we mentioned, what we're going to be seeing come out of the teams.
Yeah, all very kind of fascinating. So it's SkyeBurn eSports and Nevermore. SkyeBurn eSports and Nevermore. Well, we're going to be seeing SkyeBurn starting out on the defense, and the bonus round here is that we're going to be able to see what SkyeBurn comes out with pretty quickly, except a pause has been called for what we refer to as a player issue, situation.
break.
A bio break, as it were. We don't know what they need, and honestly, we're not one to pry. So, in any event, though, here we are sitting here, just as we get almost the entirety of SkyeBurn's comp, and man, Organic is gonna see. This is how Jabate scuffs me, Jabates me, or god dang it, they're not gonna get out of there with Tracer. They're gonna be switching on to something else. I'm calling it right now. However, that being said, what we might be seeing is a little bit of early committal from Nevermore. So they appear to be setting up with a standard 3-3. I'll bet that Diva is the only one that's missing. Vanguard, I suppose.
Yeah, it does look like the Diva just kind of stepping out, but everything else is pretty much boilerplate for what we see. You got the Zenyatta, you got the Lucio, the Brig. Lucio and Brig obviously good for that decentralized healing, that area healing, and then the Zenyatta just so good at being able to allow enemies, or I guess teammates, to focus down enemies. I think that unless we're seeing something like May come out instead of the Diva, it's probably likely that it's going to be the good old triple.
Yeah, ain't nothing but a thang over there. Now, meanwhile, on the other side, as we wait for Vanguard, who has just ripped himself out of the game in a fit of what I can only assume to be excitement, SkyeBurn eSports, on the other hand, is looking at something kind of fun. They have the Ryan, the Zarya, the Diva, and then a Lucio. Russian Cows had yet to commit before the pause was called. And Organic is again sitting on that Tracer. Now, if Organic actually leaves spawn, Threepwood is going to be the happiest little caster that anyone ever did see. Like, he's just going to be so dang happy. However, and we're going to be getting started back in her, and let's see just how and Vanguard left again.
Well, all right, we are still waiting on Vanguard. Gonna be holding up the match just a little bit. Can't fault them for it, though. I definitely understand that everybody has different necessities that requires getting away from the computer every once in a while, as abhorrent as actually leaving my desk sounds to me. But if you're looking at the teams and if you're looking at the teams and thinking that things look a little bit off, we do have a couple of substitutions coming in for the team. Will be Bowie on that main tank slot for the side of SkyeBurn, that is. And we are going to be seeing It's Math Pro as well on the side of Nevermore, hopping in on that Lucio. So the team is maybe just having one player not feeling the best, or maybe just not able to participate for whatever reason. But either way, we're going to be ready to go here as soon as Vanguard gets back. It looks like there's something going on with the player. Our producer says that Vanguard's really having a time of it right now. And I think we're just waiting.
Yeah, and honestly, I feel like there's just a happy little accidents going on in here. Or I can't really say happy because ISPs sometimes make me want to expand the dictionary of the sailor, so to speak. In any event, though, it looks like there is going to be a substitute coming in. As Sir Walter mentioned, teams got to do what they can do. So discussing that for a hot minute, though, that's not going to be looking good for Nevermore, meaning that they're going to be grabbing that sub, and that could be a less practiced coordination coming in there. That's not really awesome, especially if you are, from what we can see, going to be running that 3-3, which to be maximum effectiveness is going to require some, actually decent coordination from the team members.
Yeah, no doubt about that as well. You're not able to really run those kind of specialized comps. So if you have a comp that's really off meta, something that a lot of people aren't practicing at all, bringing in a person who has no experience with that's going to really desynchronize that play style. So hopefully not too big of an impact here. Hoping we can still see some very good games coming forth. And it looks like the sub's going to be hopping in. And I believe once that is the case, we're going to be ready to go onto Hanamura for the first time tonight.
So, rip in pieces Vanguard, long live Krawi, we are here, we are ready to rock and roll. So let's just get this party started here, as we're possibly going to be undoing that hella pause, which is going to let us get back into Hanamura, and finally, the mystery of the Russian Cow's pick is going to be solved.
Yeah, yes, but is it really a mystery? Right now, Organic, maybe not on the Tracer, and if that's the case, then we might be seeing another triple. I wouldn't see it as unreasonable. It's like we talked about it a little bit before. It's not the most expected thing on Hanamura because nothing is damn expected on Hanamura. But I think that we can still kind of look forward to see a little bit of excitement, and I think that triple might still be on the table for the side of SkyeBurn.
Yeah. As much wishful thinking as I can handle, as much as I would love to endure, let's be real for a hot minute here, Threepwood. He's not sticking on that Tracer.
Yeah.
And come on, man, don't do this.
Oh,
There it is. God, yes, man. You
Looks like it was
SOB.
looked like it was about to leave spawn with that Tracer. Not gonna quite be the play here.
So close.
As we mentioned before, Crawley going to be coming in for Vanguard. Going to be opting to go with this Sim pick, at least at the attack. Don't want to speculate too much on that, but Sim, not something that's uncommon on this map. You like seeing that teleporter really be able to get you from the choke to the point in a very quick fashion.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're having a sub duck onto that Symmetro. Maybe they just really want to run that play. But here they are leaving spawn. It's roughly a mirror comp, but instead of a D.Va, they've got that Symmetro coming in. So now it's going to be super interesting as they come into the choke here. Is Krabi going to be able to get that teleporter set up long enough to get everyone out to the point? The answer is negatory, and instead, Krabi actually dies. But Bowie is going to get a little bit of a nick there. It's going to be interesting if Nevermore can hold this choke.
Yeah, it's not looking good for SkyeBurn right now. They're still taking a few losses, and that walkback's going to be a little bit longer. The fight's going a little bit slow right now, however.
Yeah, not a super beneficial situation for the defense here, as SkyeBurn getting forced all the way back to the point. Nevermore racking up the kills. This is going to be really difficult for SkyeBurn to come back into.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about how that was a little bit of I talked about how it was a little bit of a slower roll, but the numbers were still kind of favoring Nevermore. But even if it was just a 5v5, you'd like those bites to go a little bit longer. It gives your respawns a chance to come back, get that reinforcement, and really stabilize without having to worry too much about the opponent getting the upper hand on you. But moving forward right now, looking at what is on the board, Isol as well as Tony going to be having their support ults up. That's really going to be the only thing they can aggressively push with here.
And push they will as both rallies go out onto the field. Bowie throws his charge into the wall, not going to grab anyone, but again, SkyeBurn looking good, but there it is, the big shutter comes in, it doesn't, grabs two. It grabs the Lucio and the Zarya. You are at its Math Pro, going down quickly, but again, Juice going flying into the point. It's a very disjointed charge and shatter coming out. That grabs absolutely no one. It's just a general cluster on the point as barriers go out.
Yeah, both tanks getting isolated. There's going to be both of their downfall, and right now it's just a slobber knocker.
Yeah, and okay, here we go. Now the defense stabilizes quite quickly. SkyeBurn, led by Russian Cows and Organic, just gonna about murder everyone that they can get their grubby little paws on.
Yeah, but to the advantage of Nevermore, they will have that D.Va grab bomb combo. You can see a lot of efficiency coming out of that, especially without the sound barrier, without the transcendence to really come through. There's going to be a lot of openings here if they're able to land both those ults. Probably going to be on forward to try to eat that grab if possible.
Yep, and the grab is going to be coming in a hot. Harry Hoppa already threw out theirs, so it's not going to happen, but Ford does have a point-clearing D.Va Bomb ready to go. Juice squeezing on the point, and there it is, the grab goes right out, D.Va Bomb thrown out, the rally goes in, but it's a boom, and Ford is the one throwing out the D.Va Bomb, grabbing Rory, which I think is a little bit unexpected. Certainly this caster didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it was a little weird though when we saw the grab come out, and Ford actually was the one, the defending D.Va going to be sending the D.Va Bomb towards the offensive grab. It was a peculiar interaction there, but now the ult's going to be looking a little bit more equalized. Both Zenyatta's going to be having that Transcendence up, and Cry still going to be having that D.Va Bomb as it wasn't used last fight. But this high ground still looking to be a very valuable resource both teams are going to be trying to take. And really, we've seen a lot of time be burned on this high ground, so I really think it's going to be on to Nevermore to push it here.
Yep, and here we go. There goes the D.Va Bomb pushing up onto the high ground. It's a total whiff. It goes right down to the floor. Nothing happens, but Tony picks up Bowie. Oh, wow. Tony goes crazy, grabs Bowie and Organic. No Rhine, no Brigitte. That's big for the offense here as Nevermore pushes onto the point. Tony does finally get crushed, but a D-Mech onto Ford, not going to help. But wow, SkyeBurn, again, the tenacity is huge, and the kills start going back in their favor.
Yeah, it will, however, be the side of Nevermore getting a little bit of progress onto the point, so they're not going to be too upset about that. They did put a few ults into that, but really, Tony just helped to absolutely open up that fight. Zenyatta getting those crucial kills when it was needed. And now we talked about mirror ults last fight with the Transcendences. Now it's going to be the mirror ults with the Earth Shatters this time around. Ford going to be having the Diva Bomb as well as soon as they hop back into the mech. So about 3-3 looking on the ult front here. Going to be seeing how the teams use them in the coming fight.
And Essel also going to be having the rally online very quickly. Leading with the barrier, excuse me, Bowie kind of scared me with that shadow there. They do grab Krawi, but it's nothing going to come of it. And now it's barriers and Trance coming from the offense, but SkyeBurn's just there with the barriers ready to rock and roll. Shadow goes out though, gets 3-4! Massive, and there's the kills coming in. This is, again, another attempt from Nevermore to kind of open this one up, but Ford tosses that bomb out. Grabs no one. Huge. SkyeBurn now scrambling to get people onto the point. Russian Cows actually has to toss the Trance just to keep it alive.
Yeah, this is going to be tough. This is pretty much just going to be stagger from the, or delay from the side of SkyeBurn. They're really going to want to buy time off the clock here, but it's going to be a tough order.
Yeah, and there comes the second tick. Organic having switched onto the Doomfist. Russian Cows to Tracer. Bowie to Hammond. It's full total stall comps now coming in, but the kills are still favoring Nevermore, who are pretty much just now, again, as Sir Weltham mentioned, mega cleanup mode. It's coming. We all know what's going to happen. Russian Cows, valiant attempt. Thank you for playing Tracer. We super appreciate it. We'll see you on attack.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be just under 3 minutes, if I remember right, that Nevermore was able to complete that. And I mean, it was a pretty good push, right? We saw a lot of openings come through there, and once that happened, Nevermore just absolutely getting aggressive with it, not relenting onto the side of SkyeBurn, just not even giving them the opening to get any return picks. And that's really what you have to do when you're on that attack. You can't let your defense even catch a breath for a second, otherwise you're going to start losing progress, you're going to lose time. And I mean, I think we saw it to perfect execution there.
Yep, we are still in the pre-patch. As some of you may have noticed, the PTR has some very interesting assault map changes coming in. But for now, the snowball is real and the respawns are real. So for that point, maybe, just maybe, SkyeBurn did the best that they gosh darn could to hold that point to that 3 minute. We have yet to see their attack, and it's very possible that they could obliterate that time and turn this into something of a point race. However, this is also a big opportunity, as Krawi is demonstrating on this May, for a full hold on point A.
Yeah, it's certainly not going to be the easiest of plays here. Both these teams really earned their snuff. As we talked about, they are at this point in the tournament for a reason. So I imagine that the teams aren't going to just walk away from this giving away a complete defense or a complete rollover on offense. But I'm excited to see how this May is going to play. I'm wondering if this would be any different if we had Vanguard, if they might be feeling a little bit more favorable towards the Diva. But either way, they're going to have to work with what they have. I still like it. I still like it, though.
Yeah, it's... last time someone came in here without a Diva, they had the Symmetra and it didn't really last long. Now, however, it's the defense, and having that Mei is a huge example of what a good, solid comp can do with that little blast off. And yeah, wow, boy, do they ever know what's coming. They're playing very dainty on that choke. That is to say, SkyeBurn being very careful. They're not letting anyone go through. Where is that Mei wall coming in? If you don't set down the wall, you can't make the choke happen. There it is. They trap out a few, but that's not going to be enough. If no kills come in here, so Ford does get demec'd, that might be enough, but it's going to be interesting. Wow, and there it is. It's equal kills from both sides. Fascinating, really. I'm really kind of curious as to what's going on here. The SkyeBurn seems to be doing really well on the offense, but honestly, Nevermore throwing down the trans, getting some kills now again with Krawi getting stunned. They are just barely going to survive, and they're still going to be holding on to this point, not giving up a tick.
Yeah, and really, this is kind of one of these secondary benefits of Mei, aside from just being able to hold that choke so well. You can get quite a bit of stall if you're able to use the Ice Queen's cooldowns to maximum proficiency. Not going to be the case here, as we see the points start to tick up for SkyeBurn. And really, this might be detrimental. We're going to be seeing a few ults come online for SkyeBurn that might prove crucial. Harry Happa going to be having that grab as well. Bowie on that Reinhardt shatter. But there's going to be perhaps a few defensive ults. It's Math Pro and Essel in particularly are the ones I'm looking at to really mitigate a lot of this damage. But in general, Nevermore close to a whole bunch of ults.
And Krawi might even be able to get that Blizzard online, but Harry Happa's actually going to source that grab out very early into the fight. It's going to result in 0 kills. Instead, it's going to be Nevermore ripping apart a Brigida and making it known that they are not going to be snowballed today. Ford gets demec'd yet again. Bowie goes down. This push from SkyeBurn's over. However, they are still holding on to a couple of tasty defensive ults.
Yeah, I really liked the way that was played. The grab came out from Harry, and immediately Crawley saw that and put the wall, a breaking line of sight from the entirety of the attacking team, SkyeBurn. So really, it's you use that grab to not be able to get anything, and then a couple Earth Shatters were thrown in there just for the mix of it. Rory got knocked down, but really nothing got capitalized upon because of that. That's just such a hard area to get blocked because a Reinhardt shield can cover all of the hallway, giving you no advantage.
Yeah, and so now instead they're going to take that straight line through. They almost get booped offline, but instead they're just going to get clumped up together by a grab from Rory. And wow, Bowie goes ripping right in there. Juice goes down. The barriers comes in to protect the rest of the team, and I'm not really sure how I feel about that. That's a risky move to play in the hands of Nevermore. They have the stacked against them, and then as the Diva Bomb comes out, this could be even nastier. It doesn't, however. So the Diva Bomb goes in, and Crawley actually goes down. So now, again, still 4 versus 3. Tony grabs Russian Cows, the Zenyatta ultimate. The hammer down comes out from Bowie. Didn't even see him get back onto the field. Big kills now for SkyeBurn.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say I really like the way the support players are playing on the side of SkyeBurn. We saw the grab come out, and it was Russian Cows who was separated. The grab came out, Russian Cows was separated on that Zenyatta. So momentum pops the Lucio beat, and then the May Blizzard comes out. Oh, Cows, who was separated, had that trance. So by the time the grab lets off, the Blizzard comes out. Cows pops the Transcendence. Everybody's kept alive. That is some ultimate stacking ability coming out of the supports that you really like to see. A lot of teams might not have that composure.
Yeah, it's some crazy big brain plays, and you wanted to say, you know, maybe SkyeBurn wasn't going to really be strutting their stuff, taking point A just a little bit slower than Nevermore. Instead, they're the ones with a 450 timer, and so we're going to be seeing Nevermore taking the attack once again. They've got 3 minutes to grab point A. And it looks like both teams are going to be sticking with the compositions that they've been playing with. Crawley's still going to be taking a dip into that Symmetra. Given how swiftly that composition was obliterated on their initial attack, I'm surprised they're giving it another thought.
I don't know. I don't necessarily say I'm against it, because I saw what happened the first time. The first time they put the teleporter a little bit short. I think they put it just through the choke, which means that they weren't able to use it to teleport right onto point. They might be thinking, hey, if we can get it set up this time, we might be in a much better spot, have a much more advantageous fight, even more so than the first time around. And once you do get it set up, then you can start setting the mini sentries onto the point, and that's really where it starts to build the impact of that sim pick. So they may just be trying for a better performance.
Speaking of which of performance, Bowie already generating some massive ult charge, as without a Diva, you can't get that initial fire strike right into spawn. Bowie surging forward to a shatter, but oh, whoa!
Yeah, that was a big play coming out of It's Math Pro, booping out of position Russian Cows and Bowie to just get chewed up by the rest of the team. And there's not even going to be a chance, it seems, for SkyeBurn to hold here. That is really tough. That is aggressive, but not a lot of ult's going to be moving forward, and that means it might be a pretty even fight moving on to second.
Where the debate here comes into is Crawley convincing the casters that it was actually a teleporter that was going to be used, when it was, in fact, a turret that got some massive sick kills. Instead, however, they are going to be using the turret to take Hanamura to the left. Oh, SkyeBurn's expecting it up on the right high ground. Instead, they get completely sidelined. Then they have to make a huge rotation. Big opportunity to get kills. Instead, Bowie throws out a shatter, gets no one. Massive advantage now for Nevermore, who have a chance with a rally to start bursting in here. And yes, they do it. Bowie goes down, shatter goes in, grabs Happy Hara. They're going to go down next. It's huge. Nevermore is here to stay.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be seeming that way for not buying anything with this Diva Bomb, which they really needed to.
But yeah, wow, SkyeBurn's support's going crazy. Crawley goes down, Lucio as well, Essel, holy moly. Here to stay. Again, the debate is real, as SkyeBurn demonstrates that, again, they refuse to be snowballed, but, as Waltham mentioned previously, one tick makes Nevermore a happy team.
Yeah, I mean, Nevermore seems to be this team that, you know, takes one, then takes it all. They're going to be at 40.6, which gives them a decent spot. It means that, you know, they have some leverage should the first point get capped by SkyeBurn. So they're not in the immediate draw zone. But man, that sim was an aggressive play coming through off the side hand.
Yeah, I super love to see that. Now, Crawley's going to have their work cut out for them building up a Diva ult of their own. Tony goes down very quickly in this fight, though, and a massive shatter goes in. That's going to grab a couple at least. and Crawley, after having been stunned, loses their mech. So that's what you like to see. SkyeBurn tosses out a singular ultimate, wins the fight. There's a minute left. They've got a bunch coming online, but it's going to be dueling grabs here very shortly.
Yeah, and Rory going to be in a tougher spot because there's going to be more to answer that grab. Russian Cows and Momentum, who we saw have that kind of ult coordination before, going to be ready with those defensive ults, while on the other hand, it will only be Math Pro who has it to counter Harry's grab. But luckily, they don't have to worry about the Diva Bomb, so that's one source of burst damage. It's kind of negligible in this situation, unless Ford can build up some massive charge.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy if they can pull this off, but instead it's going to be actually organic building up to another rally ahead of Essel very quickly. Tony not really getting to that trance ahead of time. Russian Cow still the only one who's going to hold it, which means there's going to be one grab that's going to do very well and another grab that's not. However, SkyeBurn giving Nevermore the chance to build these ultimates is not beneficial for their ultimate hold. A grab gets tossed out, there's the Diva Bomb going in. Counter grab goes in, it gets whiffed completely, but no kills either way from either side as now it's trans, dueling barriers, everything's going in crazy, but Essel finds Bowie, and that I think is going to be the big clincher here.
Yeah, absolutely a nice kill, meaning that the Earth Shatter could come through from Juice Ice. Not going to be finding anybody.
Diva Bomb now comes out from Crawley. That finds no one, but it does kill the point. Rory and Essel killing their not counterparts, but the Zari goes down. More kills coming in now for Evermore. This could be a overtime full point take that we're looking at here.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's going that way. It will be. It's going to be the side, oh my goodness, of Nevermore.
Nobody saw it coming, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, that was, I mean, they got pinned by that grab. The Diva Bomb came in. I was not walk away clean from that. And then let alone picking up the kill onto Bowie. Bowie, I don't know what the plan was there without the rest of the team to really follow up. That might have been the misplay that caused the Jenga tower to fall as it goes.
Yeah, and Rory whiffing the grab, fight happening on the high ground, goes onto low ground. You can probably think, that actually might be a huge tilting moment. Instead, Nevermore actually really coalesced, popping that one kill thanks to, some Essel damage coming in. And instead, they actually turned that into a point take, which is crazy. But again, want to emphasize, SkyeBurn let that fight go on way too longer. Ult tracking is kind of huge in Overwatch. We all know that by now. And in a situation where you're pretty sure the Zaryas have the grabs, but you've got a trance, you can grab with impunity. You know that you can keep yourselves alive. There's no way a 3-3 can bust through a trance, especially with all the patches and nonsense going in.
Yeah, there's just not a lot to really kind of burst at a massive amount of damage. But once again, we're going to be seeing now the side of Nevermore on defense. We're going to be seeing Juice Ice doing a little bit of a shield dance as well as Essel. But we're going to be seeing the Mei come out once again. Juice Ice going to be trying to get some Fire Strike charge. Maybe building a little bit.
Yeah, the problem is when you're going into a Diva, the Diva gets to eat most of it, so not as high as Bowie's Fire Strike, but hey, extra 17% on top of another Reinhardt is pretty solid option. However, Crawley still... there's the main wall that you super love to see.
Yeah, that was really off the back of Math Pro. We've seen this player get a lot of very crucial boops.
That was insane, especially, coming back from that offensive push, now Nevermore, demonstrating that Lucio and Mei can actually work pretty synergistically. They take Bowie down very quickly. Bowie now very behind on the Reinhardt Earth Shatter ult charge. Let's see what this next Mei wall can pull out. Maybe they'll be a little more hesitant.
Yeah, they're definitely going to have to keep eyes out for Math Pro this time around, but it's looking a little stagnant on the point. Not too much in the terms of kills getting traded either way yet.
Yep, so here we go. It's just poke time. Ralry and Harry Happa building up what charge they can, and that's huge. Crawley throws out the wall, but it is now committed, and that's, yes, there it is. SkyeBurn recognizes their chance to go in, and so they do. They actually pop the trans to help them into the point. It's met with a counter trans from Tony. Both teams receiving way too much healing to have anything to matter. Grab goes in for Ralry, though, and it's big. Juice goes down, but the kills are so present for Nevermore. It might be enough to keep them alive to get Juice back on the point long enough.
Yeah, especially if they can get the stagger onto Ford on this Diva, but the Zarya may just kind of ignore it. And man, that would have been such a good amount of time, a good time source to really get to give Juice Ice the opportunity to get back, but it doesn't look like they're going to be shaken up too much. Had to invest a lot there. Juice Ice using an Earth Shatter that actually didn't net anything, just right into the shield of Bowie. Might be suffering for that later.
Yeah, meanwhile, Crawley's going to have the Blizzard. Essel's going to have their rally, and there's some nasty ultimates coming in. Bowie, if he can pull that Shatter off, if the Rhine duel wins, Ford maybe throwing a Diva Bomb could be a huge combo with that.
Yeah, I imagine Crowley going to be really trying to focus around this Diva Matrix, trying to get the Blizzard to avoid being eaten.
Yeah, there it is. Massive. The Diva Bomb is there, but the Maywall makes it difficult. Shatter comes out, though. Catches two. Not going to be enough, however, for SkyeBurn, as a massive Shatter goes in from Juice Ice. Holy moly. Grabs 5. That's going to be a total annihilation coming in for Nevermore. If this isn't a team kill, now it's a big chance to stall Ford out, and I think they're going to be taking every advantage of it.
Yeah, Bowie looked really good with that Earth Shatter. The mistake was trying to follow it up with a pin. Of course, when we saw Bowie try to turn to go for that pin, Juice Ice recognized there was no shield left guarding that team. The hammer comes down, it knocks down 3, 4, 5 members of the attacking team, and that really sets up the fight to be one easy peasy for the defenders here, who are now looking in a very good spot. They've managed to hold this for a long while. However, they're going to have to be wary of Harry Happa's Grav coming out. Might be the only thing to really hold them up.
So it's another situation. SkyeBurn let that fight go on so long. Rory and Tony, like, everyone built up to their ultimates on Nevermore so quickly. And if you're going to let the defending team equalize like that, then you kind of have what coming to you. As the Grav goes in, and once again, it's Math Pro sends the barriers in. So Russian Cows throws the chance to try to keep this push alive. Instead, the Shatter does go in and grabs Harry Happa, who actually kills Juice Ice on the back end, though. So maybe SkyeBurn's learned a lesson, and here they come. Despite the Blizzard coming in, maybe they have a big chance here. Instead, negatory for Krawi, who tries to pick up Harry Happa.
Yeah, it was just Isol trying to get the kill onto Harry. Not really going to be finding anything and will actually be punished because of it. I'm not sure that the May is going to be what they're sticking on. No, they're going to be going Krawi on the Diva.
Massive.
Yeah, they gave up a lot of ult in that fight. Now it is nobody over 50% for the defender's side. And there's going to be a couple coming online for the attack. SkyeBurn having that Earth Shatter as well as that Diva Bomb, which those can also be comboed to a surprising level of efficiency. So I think that it's going to be one of those things. You're going to have to really be heads up if you're Nevermore.
And now this is going to be it. Nevermore. If they are given the chance to let this fight go, no, a Diva Bomb comes in from Ford. Does it happen? No, it doesn't. And Bowie, though. Bowie gets a big shatter, but the Essel was there waiting for them. Russian Cows goes down. Bowie's going to fall shortly after. No, instead it's actually Juice Ice. So now it's a 5v5, but I'd rather have a Reinhardt instead of a Zenyatta. Meanwhile, Diva battling on the point, but yes, Bowie does finally go down. Krawi flexing some serious action here. 50 seconds left. SkyeBurn needs to get out of here fast if they want to have another shot.
Yeah, it's going to be Ford who's taking a quick jump off the map, courtesy with a little boost of Math Pro. But really, at this, the attacking side now, the side of SkyeBurn, has put themselves in a tough spot. They're going up against a heap of ultimates. They didn't have anything to go against them this last push. Now they have everything. And their ults aren't exactly looking flush either. They're going to have maybe 3 or 4 coming up in this next fight. But they're going up against a full deck on the side of Nevermore. That is tough.
Yep, the Gravs and the Trans will cancel each other out. Then you're left with a Shatter on the other side, Shatter on the other side. Maybe it's going to happen. So there's the rallies. The big Shatter goes in, except it doesn't catch anyone. Instead, the Grav is there. Apocalypse goes crazy, and the Diva Bomb gets 1 out of all of that healing and damage. No, it also gets the DMAC on Ford. But Nevermore is the clearly dominant team here. Ford struggling to do their best. They will actually unintentionally have overtime as Juice Ice knocks them onto the point. But ultimately, it's not going to matter as Nevermore takes Hanamura.
Yeah, funny interaction that happened in that last fight that was actually probably a little bit more detrimental than might be interpreted. Harry Happa pops the Grav up onto the wall above that doorway, meaning all the players from the defensive side are lifted up, but then the Earth Shatter from Bowie comes in, and it doesn't hit anything because nobody's on the floor. They're all in the air, meaning that nobody gets knocked down and they can still continue shooting at the tanks on the side of the offense. And man, it was good, but it just wasn't there. It was just a day late and a dollar short.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to see it. You maybe could have taken that point actually, but in all seriousness, like Nevermore just way too strong right now. And even when SkyeBurn, as we mentioned, they did take the initiative to start that last fight, the fight that really kind of damned them, and they committed the ults, they got the shatters, but they kind of let Bowie run in all on his own, his lonesome, without any support. Yeah, you get some kills, and ultimately that charge proved to be fruitless.
Yeah, and I mean, it's kind of the thing that it's fortunate we're talking about higher level games, right? Because a lot of times with lower level games, it can easily just turn into this person doesn't land their shots, which is a hard thing to convey other than just their mechanics are bad. But in this kind of situation, I think that particularly with Bowie, with kind of the ult synergies we've been seeing, and to be fair, there have been some that have been very good. But it just seems like all the time it's very hit or miss for SkyeBurn. I loved the support plays we saw coming through from SkyeBurn. I think support plays on both sides. It's Math Pro getting some very good boops, even if they weren't direct environmental kills. But you see that, and it's very feast or famine for SkyeBurn. They don't seem to really have that locked in quite yet. It might just be one of those things where it takes a few games to really get the cogs greased, and then we'll see how it happens moving forward.
Yeah, gonna be super interesting, especially as we are going through some like rapid fire heroes, bans, maps, saves, everything. Ilios is gone from the series. Lijiang Tower has been selected. Lucio has been saved. Mei has been banned, which, as Waltham and I are very quick to announce, means that Command Center is gonna be a straight up mirror 3-3.
Yeah, I think that in all the time I've seen Lijiang Command Center, I've only seen one instance where it's been something other than 3-3 or Mei comp. And that was a really weird Bastion Bunker comp. Not sure if that's going to play out this time around, because that's one of those very coordinated or practiced comps, I should say. Yeah, I think this is also the first time I've ever seen a Mei be banned in this tournament, at least for this month. So that's kind of exciting. It's a little fun thing. I don't think that they're really wanted to play up against Crawley's Mei once more.
I don't disagree. Crawley's Mei did some serious action, good stuffs. And I don't know if you want to. I don't know if banning Mei is really honestly your best option here, but I guess when both teams have been shown to be pretty reliant on the 3-3 composition, there's not really a lot you can do since bans apply to both teams, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's better to look at it kind of as a daily thing instead of, oh, this team historically runs this, because none of these players I would imagine are specialists. They're probably all just standard players like us. So it's kind of whatever they're feeling for today. And the Mei pick, it's peculiar, but I wouldn't say it's something you would expect a hot streak with.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe this. Yes. Then now, see, I guess here's the big issue. We're playing Control Center right off the bat. So the Mei ban immediately comes into effect, which is fortunate for the ban.
Right.
Because, if, you could get 2-0'd without ever having the Mei be quasi-relevant. But, okay, so this map ends. That means, by definition, you're going to play another one. So if you were hoping for that Mei ban to carry you, or maybe be the deciding factor, you better have one of those other two rounds locked up tight.
Yeah, absolutely. As we may have hinted at a little bit, both teams going to be hitting that triple standard Reinhardt, standard Zenyatta. Nothing too out of the bag here. There's going to be some fundamental GOATS comps as we get moving.
Yeah, and so here we go. Oh, there it is. The high ground possibly taken. It traded from Crawley, but here we go. SkyeBurn, no, SkyeBurn starting up, but they're going to lose their main tank very quickly. Juice Ice, however, also not really looking all that tight. He is eventually not going to get topped up. He's going to instead get forced down even lower as Rawi dies. And SkyeBurn showing extremely good dominance on this point here.
Yeah, and this really shows you the power of having a Zarya in your the team that doesn't, because we saw Rari get dropped down pretty soon out of the gate, meaning Harry Happa can stay in that fight for longer. And of course, as a lot of people know, the longer a fight goes on, the more charge Zarya can get and the more damage she does, meaning that it's really working in favor for the team that can draw out those longer fights with the Zarya.
Yep, and so here we go. It doesn't matter what. If you've got the Ryan and the Zarya, you are going to be holding this choke. Doesn't matter if the Mei's there. Doesn't honestly matter what other hero you have. This choke is just such prime holding material. Bowie throws his charge out, so he's not going to have that in case anyone comes charging in. And there it is. The barrier's is real, but that was bait for the grab. It's big. The trans is there, so from Tony. So it's going to be kind of crazy. The Shatter comes in, grabs 3. Kill, yes, Rawi does go down. Juice Ice throws the Shatter down into what we only can presume to be a kind of lost fight here. Yeah, Juice Ice goes down. It's just no buenos tiempos for anyone on the side of Nevermore, as SkyeBurn demonstrates, again, really serious dominance here.
Yeah, they definitely are not happy based on this defensive hold. They're getting really into it, but a lot of defensive ults at the same time coming out from the side of Nevermore. We saw all 3 ults hitting at the same time at one point, and that's a tough spot to be in. You want to have that layering that we saw from SkyeBurn earlier.
Yeah, speaking of the layering, Grav goes in from, let's say, an unexpected source, and again, SkyeBurn, huge dominance. They even still are rotating their ults very nicely. Now, for Nevermore, though, they have the ultimates necessary to bust to this point. They have good 2 defensive options, and Crawley has the Disrupting Diva bomb. However, Bowie at the Shatter and Ford with the bomb. And Russian Cows is definitely going to get trans before this fight reaches culmination.
Yeah, they don't have a lot of time, though. There's only 5 seconds left on the clock. Somebody has to be able to make it the point.
Oh, Ford, you absolute monster, gets the 4K. That's just a total Toto annihilation, as they say. And yeah, SkyeBurn's going to take control center pretty handily.
Yeah, there wasn't even a moment where Nevermore touched point once they lost it the first time around, except for obviously the overtime touch. But really, man, SkyeBurn looking like a team of a different shade coming around this time.
Yep, and wham bam, thank you ma'am. Moving on to the garden.
Yes.
Honestly, Lijiang Tower names. Just, I literally been playing this game since the open beta, and I swear to God, I still have to think about Lijiang Tower map names. Regardless, though, we're at the gardens, and we're not seeing anything super crazy different coming out from these teams, except, yeah, oh, come on, Russian Cows. I was even just about to talk about how awesome you were. Speaking of which, Twitch MVP poll, vote for it below the streams. It's going to be super awesome. Ford just got a 4K. Maybe that factors in. I don't even know. But we're back to mirror comps, and let's see which team can roll this one out.
Yeah, I'm surprised we're not seeing any DPS comps. A lot of times we talk about the Pharah. I love the Pharah, but I'm not saying it needs to be played here. But a lot of times the Wrecking Ball can find a lot of good purchase. The McCree, Widowmakers even in a Blue Moon. But we're going to be seeing the standard 3-3.
And with that standard 3-3, we're getting, again, now Nevermore! So the Mei is no longer an option, and it's like, honestly, maybe that map was SkyeBurn's big chance at taking it big, making it happen. Because now Nevermore, it's dominance. Harry Happa making the caster regret his choice, but it's still a trade. It's a Lucio trade. One Brazilian DJ for the other Brazilian DJ.
Yeah, and Nevermore going to be kind of trying to draw out this fight, thinking they might still to win it. It is 5v5 on point, so I can't say I blame them, but they're going to have to play a little bit carefully. You don't want to continue to lose progress of a lost fight.
Yeah, that's nuts. And wow, big trans is coming in, but Nevermore again. It's just they are unseatable. Russian Cows even has to just murder themselves, despite the trans being very real. Yeah, no, this is bad for SkyeBurn right now. Huge.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing Nevermore have 6 ultimates on the board. They haven't been, as of last round, they weren't the most ult efficient, but this being said, they're in control. They can help set the pace of what ults get activated when, especially with that Zarya bomb, and hopefully Math Pro and Tony are a little bit on the similar level when it comes to the defensive ults. But they're going to have to go up against Harry Happa's grab, which is also going to be up on this fight.
Yeah, and if you are SkyeBurn, you've got to know that the Big Six is coming at you right now. Being led with Esso's rally, so you counter with the rally. There it is, but the Shatter is in from Bowie. Or no, Shatter is in from Juice. Grabs 2, but the barriers are here. The Diva Bombs go out, and it's another Diva Bomb going in. Boom! Crawley is huge!
Yeah, that's really good. Once again, we saw it's Math Pro actually getting the boop, knocking a couple people just into that bomb range. Russian Cows maybe taking a quick dip, but we talk about the ult usage, and Nevermore got perhaps just a little too excited. They invested the whole 6, and now they're not going to have anything moving forward, while it's going to be Russian Cows momentum and Bowie having a slew of ults for a bunch of different purposes. It's not all defensive ults, it's not all offensive CC ults. So it's something that's going to have to be kept in the minds of Nevermore. They're going to have a lot less resources to play with.
Yeah, SkyeBurn, this is a huge opportunity for them to take the point. They even lead with it. Bam! Shatter gets 3. Juice Ice, however, Bowie grabs Essel. Harry Happa, D-Max, Crawley. This is it. Bam! SkyeBurn is back in action. Juice finding Harry Happa. That's only going to be a little bit of a dent in the oncoming train. That is SkyeBurn. Choo-choo, mother truckers. Here's a turn, take, wham! Now it's a 0 to 99, but maybe SkyeBurn can bring this back.
Yeah, and I want to talk about one thing, because it's something that it's kind of a small minutia of higher level play. Cry got D-mech'd immediately. or pretty early into the fight, and wasn't touched until the very end. They were the last person to get dropped. They know that the Baby Diva's not going to be able to do much with just that Bunny Blaster, and even if they do build up mech, that's still more points you're able to farm by the time you've hopefully brought down more of their team members. So I really like that, the ability to change targets like that.
Yep, and here we go. It's going to be a brawl on the point right away. This is a great opportunity for Nevermore to grab some ultimates. Organic is going to sacrifice the rally to make this happen. Shadow goes in, grabs 2. Is it big? Is it big? Negatory. No kills coming out from that one, as now another rally comes out. The main tanks are down, so now it's just an all-out damage round. Ford goes crazy again with a 3K.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not too surprising. You see that the main tank goes down. You still know that they're pretty tightly clustered due to a grab having just been thrown out. The Diva Bomb makes a lot of sense there. And now you're starting to have a different tone of the game. If you're on the side of Nevermore, you really should not have let that point turn around. And you have one ult to go with. You keep using these ults in an incredibly, I want to say, pretty irresponsible way.
Oh! Massive, but the grab was there preventing any kind of counter. So SkyeBurn once again takes it to the forefront, and wow. So again, we had one 0 to 99. We might be looking at another 0 to 99 because Nevermore, they have a single ultimate coming online, but also on SkyeBurn. That's still more than SkyeBurn.
Yeah, no doubt. But man, again, it's like now we're seeing some coordination issues come out from the side of Nevermore, but they're gonna get that opening.
Huge! Crawley's bomb, a Hail Mary pass, actually takes down Harry Hoppa, and that is, as well as said, the door opener. And holy moly is Nevermore going absolutely crazy, murdering SkyeBurn. So yeah, 99 to 99, we had 2 0 to 99s, but SkyeBurn's not going to be able to answer this one.
Yeah,
They're going to be able to get
momentum
overtime, and that's it.
Yeah, this momentum barely stepping a toe onto point. Not going to quite be having the rest of the manpower to get through. So it's going to be 1-1, as Threep had mentioned, and I believe that means we're going to be taking it on to Night Market, which, if trend's been showing, probably means triple-triple.
So this is a map where you could potentially see some Widowmaker, some 4-2, or 4-1-1, some, like, some crazy, maybe some Pharah, guys? Maybe? No? Fine. Both these teams have honestly been playing some really solid 3-3, especially I want to say Ford and Crawley. Ford maybe a little more so because they have the bigger plays, the one that's kind of thing.
Yes.
But Crawley opened up that fight with that single boom, and now we're here in the third round, so maybe Crawley has a little bit of that Diva's tactical action to him.
Yeah, it's both players playing to a very high degree, especially considering Crawley is a sub for this team tonight. So definitely not part of the usual roster. I still think they're playing pretty well.
Yes, absolutely. So that being said, though, looking very low. SkyeBurn looking very good. And again, no. SkyeBurn's main tank goes down. Again, if it's a Lucio or a main tank, I'd rather lose the Lucio. And bam, Nevermore is making that painfully clear. As despite some progress built onto capturing the point by SkyeBurn, Nevermore's going to be forcing them off pretty handily because they've got a big giant rectangle.
Yeah, and this is a little bit dangerous. We saw the side of SkyeBurn get separated just a little bit as soon as they realized the fight was lost. They all 4 members went out the back doors, but just the opposite back doors. But now they're going to be regrouping. It's going to be Bowie just kind of posting up, and a pause is going to get called, actually. Bowie going to be looking like a drop.
Oh, that's a big shame. Bowie dropping from the match, especially after potentially some charge that they have been building up. Now it's going to be Juice Ice going up 91% with their charge. Bowie, meanwhile, they're gonna be sitting at a big fat 0, and ain't nobody like that happened to the Reinhardt. Ain't nobody.
Yeah, it's going to be tough, but fortunately they don't have a whole lot of a long back. It's going to be the side of SkyeBurn, who's right at their point, so not too much to worry there. But we can kind of look into the next fight. As you mentioned, Bowie not going to be having much ult charge with this Ryan. But we look at the other side, Tony going to be having that Transcendence to match Russian. Juice Ice going to be having that Earth Shatter, of course, to surpass Tony. Rari and Harry looking kind of even, so a lot of ults kind of to consider moving forward. But obviously the biggest discrepancy between Bowie and Juice. Yeah.
So, bam, Bowie's back in, it's ready to happen, and that is just, again, mega super unfortunate, because, again, we're talking a major ult differential here, and Neverwinter just capped the point. So SkyeBurn has definitively their work cut out for them, but they are not going to be without ults either.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not going to be letting that affect them too much, but they don't seem to be kind of waiting for Bowie right out of the gate. They look like they're getting a little bit anxious.
Alright, so here we go. So wham, bam, boom, Shatter goes in. Juice Ice takes hella advantage of the fact that they know Bowie was going to be down. Russian Cows goes down, but it's still a little bit of a split fight. Bowie way out of position, getting bullied by Brigida. Essel takes them down. And Juice Ice again, building up again, slowly to that charge. Bowie now at 2/3 of the way there for his own, so, spooky situation.
Yeah, very much so, but the ult's looking a little bit more equalized here. SkyeBurn going to be having 4 on soon to match the 5 from the side of Nevermore that will be on. And Tony getting brought down low, that might be a little bit of an opening.
Alright, there we go. Rari throws out the grab. Do we have kills coming in for it? Ladies and gentlemen, the verdict is Crawley this time with the 3K. It's always nice to see that combo get off.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, we've seen it so much, but Math Pro looking like a regular kind of pro here, getting as soon as that grab lets up the boop, knocking everybody into the air, meaning that Craw can get some big damage on that bomb and get big kills as well.
Yeah, big bomb, big kills. We all super love it. And gonna have to draw attention to this though. Nevermore sitting very pretty, but Russian Cows finds Tony. Huge, massive. Maybe this could be it. Is SkyeBurn gonna be taking advantage of this in a big way? The answer is yes. Rari goes down. Russian Cows again, clicking heads, taking names, and they have a bad memory apparently. So Juice Ice goes down. Essel just leaps off. Nevermore acquiesces that point rather graciously, but this is a much more even ultimate game now.
Yeah, however, this isn't a bad spot for Nevermore. They do have quite a lot of time to really get composed and win just 1 or 2 team fights. Probably 1, if we're talking about it honestly and realistically. But it could go either way for the next couple of fights. And then even after that, how the teams use their resources.
Yeah, speaking of that dueling grabs going out with the bomb coming in, no massive kill for 4 this time around, but barriers coming in going to be saving a lot of lives here from both sides. As, again, a major brawl happening in the general vicinity of the point, but it's going to be Bowie going down once again. And again, if your main tank is the first, but Juice goes down. So now with the bomb going in the back line, you be surprised, you would have been fine saying kills would come in from that. Instead, it's actually just momentum. It's actually just momentum, literally killing literally everyone.
Yeah, momentum definitely hears us talking a lot about Math Pro. Wants to get on that scoreboard, wants to be known, wants to be heard in chat, wants to let the team know that, or let everybody know that there's 2 Lucios on the board. And I think we're taking notice now, momentum. We see you.
Yeah, don't worry, momentum. We got this. We got you. I see you there, and we see you. We know you're there. You're murdering everyone. Cool, awesome. And that's going to let SkyeBurn's percentage go up and up and up and up. For the only one with an ult, though, Harry Happa going to be having it. Rari not going to have the grab to match, but Tony going to have the trans to make that happen. Meanwhile, the bomb goes in. The bomb grabs no one, but Juice Ice Crawley, it's going crazy! Crawley finds Ford before they get back in the mech, and the Tony trans goes out just in time for the grab. And excuse me, God, I'm dying. This is just such a big turnaround. Nevermore, craziness. They flip the point, they're taking it down, and that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. They take Lijiang Tower. It's 2-0. SkyeBurn now fighting for their lives in this tournament.
Yeah, SkyeBurn is in what we in the business know as the hot seat. That is not a favorable spot to be in. They have to perform basically a reverse sweep here, and you know, there have been some shines, there have been some spots where they've looked good, but it's still going to be tough for them just given everything that's happened so far. And you know, it seems like they're playing most comfortably on a 3-3, but their opponents are also playing very proficiently on a 3-3 as well. So you can't really kind of try to counter comp your opponent.
Yeah, it's a rough situation, but that's you know, that's the, I guess maybe even one of the benefits of running the 3-3, right? You've got this situation where you're running the better 3-3. You are. The fact that it's the sad fat panda of the matter is your 3-3 is being outclassed. What do you do from there? How do you even try to counter that? Do you continue to try to run the 3-3, or is there anything in your, you know, bag of tricks that you can pull out? This is where we see teams with the diverse compositions in that back pocket come to the play. SkyeBurn, if they've got something and they can bust that out, that's going to be their big win here. But if they can't, I think we might be saying goodbye to them tonight.
Yeah, and I mean, not to dwell on the past, but one of the teams that was most successful, Aptix Esports, ran a really good non-3-3. They ran a Wrecking Ball was one of their kind of staples. When Aptix was on the field, you knew that there was a very good chance you were going to be seeing that Wrecking Ball, and it's for this exact reason, because if you're going against a comp that is standard, if you know you cannot beat it, you will just counterplay it. And that is what, I mean, Nevermore just is overplaying SkyeBurn on this 3-3. So far, unflawed. Like they've lost a map, but still they've lost a sub map, but every map still has gone to them. They're not going to be content to switch off of 3-3 if SkyeBurn's going to keep running.
Yeah, and you can almost tell that the Mei would have been crucial to Nevermore's strategy on Control Center, because they were pwned pretty hard. Like, we don't usually use you don't usually get to see something like that where a ban just so immediately takes effect like that. But no Mei equals no good times for Nevermore on the Control Center, and it clearly showed, because immediately once the map started moving back towards a more general, this is 3-3v3-3, you're gonna have to make that happen, Nevermore took that dominance right back at it. And yeah, SkyeBurn had those retakes. Nevermore just pretty much waited till the fight was going to go in their favor, and then they had that retake. So, no buenos. No buenos for SkyeBurn. So instead, however, after Nevermore bans Dorado, they're going to decide to go to Junkertown. So speaking of bags of tricks, I think it might be time for SkyeBurn to come back.
It might. It's going to depend on how well they can run. This is a map where, the commonly perceived meta for it is very much so not the 3-3. The pirate ship is, kind of one of the if memory serves, it's one of the earliest forms of a bunker comp. At least, it's one of the earliest forms of the mobile bastion bunker comp, and this is interesting. It looks like SkyeBurn gonna be choosing to ban the Reinhardt, so they're gonna be leaning pretty heavily, I imagine, on this Orisa defense and offense, I guess, on both sides, unless both teams are willing to pull out that Winston, which I don't know. We haven't seen a whole lot of it this time around.
This makes me so blanking happy. I don't want to have this Twitch channel get censored or whatever. So again, I will not expand the Sailor's Dictionary, but holy mother of goodness. This is crazy. Yes, in Nevermore we actually see them. They're scrambling now. Wait, maybe they actually kind of wanted to take defense first? Nay. It is too late. SkyeBurn starting out on defense. No Reinhardts for both teams, ladies and gentlemen. This is bonkers. Of all the heroes to ban, you ban Reinhardt? Hoo-wee!
Yeah, it's a bold call from SkyeBurn. And, this kind of opens up a line of thinking for me, because we talk about, these teams are heavily reliant on the 3-3, but how restrictive is that reliance? Is it just the Ryan Zen 3-3 that we've been seeing, or have they practiced with something like a Winston 3-3, or even the Winston Hammond Diva style heavy dive 3-3, or where does the line stop for them? Are they super hard restricted by just those core 6 heroes, or can they branch at all? We know that Nevermore can kind of flex onto the Mei a little bit here. I say kind of, but they can flex to the Mei with a good amount of proficiency. But what outside of that? We haven't seen any of the usual swap-ins, the substitutions, the Baskin-Robbins fill-ins, but I think it's something worth asking.
Yeah, absolutely. Meanwhile, on the face of SkyeBurn, they're rocking pretty much exactly what you'd expect. It's a single mercy for the healers. The Diva, the Orisa, the Hog, or as I like to say it, pulled pork with a side of defense matrix. And then, of course, double snipers. So now we're going to see Harry Happen Organic mix it up for realsies. Meanwhile, on offense, it looks like the gauntlet, which has been thrown down by the Rhine banning SkyeBurn, is for realsies, and they're taking it. They're rocking that pirate ship. Let's see if they can make it onto the point.
Yeah, of course, Organic going to be hopping onto that Hanzo, utilizing that storm arrow, or that sonar arrow, just to get a little bit of scouting done beforehand.
Wow. Wow, Juice having to do some body blocking with that Orisa hardening. Juice actually, or Essel rather, forced off the point. They're back on, and yes, the point is moving. Harry Happa and Organic unable to get the picks they needed. Meanwhile, Rawi setting up in a very advantageous position for Widowmaker. They have the dead sightlines down, but the Hog finds Essel. Boom! Russian Cows takes it.
Yeah, and oh, that was such a close res. Matt Pro still flexing, still showing some solid support play coming through here.
That was one of the most ballsiest Widow Mercy reses I've ever seen. Meanwhile, the Widow duel is in full swing. Neither Widow able to make it happen. Meanwhile, the point is going in full bore, and Baptiste Tony already has the ultimate. Harry Happa actually finds Rari, so that is a good sign for SkyeBurn. But it's going to be difficult to dislodge them at this point, especially with their subs being, rather their respawns being very quick. Tony's immortality field also going down quite quickly as Organic tosses in a very nasty Dragons.
Yeah, the Dragon's not going to be fighting anything. Does separate the team a little bit, and that's going to be the opportunity. Isol to really get brought down on that Bastion. Doesn't look like the Mercy's going to go for the res. I wonder if this is going to be the call for swapping. It is.
Yes, Russian Cows had the eye out for Essel, and they just made it happen every time. That hook seemingly had a Bastion hunting homing beacon on it. So instead, it's going to be Nevermore switching on to... Ooh, the Winston coming in. No one saw that coming, least of all Harry Happa, who has to retreat in the face of all that angry Tesla cannon. Meanwhile, it's still, again, no Reinhardt. It's a Winston, Diva, Zarya with the... Oh, geez, the Ana? Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and this is very peculiar because, you know, Momentum just a single target. So one of the biggest aspects of Ana's kit, the anti-nade, not going to be as impactful here, you might think, at a first glance, but it's not even going to matter if the kills don't come through.
Meanwhile, Harry Happa says kills? Oh, I thought you said kill everyone. So with the assistance of Orisa getting that little bit of that boosty action. Sorry, Lucio, it's not you, it's Orisa. In any event, though, so Ultimate's quasi coming online now for Nevermore. They've got the Nano, they've got the potentially a rally, maybe sometime. Krawi, I think the Otis is kind of on Krawi right now.
Yeah, it absolutely seems to be Juice Ice going to be looking, not finding it, but as we move up here, both teams saddling up just for the next push. Organic trying to get some cheeky shots.
Yeah, and Organic finds Tony before that Nano Boost can even make a thing. Here comes Russian Cows. He grabs the hook, but ooh, the Defense Matrix and the Zarya bubble was there. Little bit of a not trusting your Zarya maybe, because that's a lot of mischarge for Rawi there. And Rawi, speaking of Rawi, caught majorly out of position. It looks like SkyeBurn's not going to capitalize, but you know, maybe they don't necessarily. The pulled pork is so good!
There is certainly a good reason for that. Oh my goodness, sorry.
It's insane, ladies and gentlemen. Nevermore is just getting completely stymied here by SkyeBurn's... come on! So the minute I start praising SkyeBurn, that's when Nevermore starts raking it in. Ultimates abounds, but holy moly, what is this coming out right now?
Yeah, really what happened there was Juice Ice used the primal, dope into the way back, and just started bullying Cry, and then because of, or started bullying Ford, excuse me, and then because of that, Russian Cows went back to kind of try to peel, get that angry monkey off the back of their Diva player. Did not work out that way, however. Will work out for the Diva Bomb kill on to Juice Ice from Ford, though.
Yeah, speaking of Ford, who is a potential MVP candidate, and my vote for that before the stream, Bowie gets eliminated, however, by Rawi, but they are going to get rezzed very quickly, but Rawi has way too much energy to be slain, and, Big Dragon's coming in. Is it going to happen? Yes! Rawi actually ended up murdering themselves. Ford does find Tony. It's not going to be a take for Nevermore right now. I have a feeling they're going to be getting forced off this point if the kills don't start coming in for them, but Krawi dropping the bomb could be big. It is! Organic and Russian Cows both go down. Momentum is huge. This crazy Bowie goes down again. Can this team be stopped? Apparently no, because even if Harry Happa is on the soldier, it doesn't matter. They push the point.
Yeah. Nevermore going to be making the call for a pause while 3 regains his voice. It's actually going to be Bowie taking a step out while I try to summon my voice. But Bowie taking a step out, that means that main tank player going to be gone, going to be respawning, but that's not a bad spot. They're going to be respawning basically right at the cart when they do come back online. And that was a lot, or respawn with the team when they come back online. But that was a lot of time burned off from SkyeBurn. They did a really solid defense there. That's the kind of defense they needed in these past few rounds, especially on Hanamura.
Yeah, and unfortunately, though, it's they were doing so well, and honestly, they really could have stabilized. I think they honestly had a really solid option to, but I don't know if it was kind of a trickle, but really, in the kind of stall situation that Nevermore found themselves in, that's when you say, if you can get picks to turn the numbers advantage in your favor, then your stall stops being a stall and it becomes a win. And that's kind of exactly what happened. The Juice Ice pick came in doing just so much crazy ham and trucking damage right there, but not too many other crazy picks. Rawi, yes, onto the Doomfist, but ultimately I think it was Juice Ice who really kind of put it through there. You kind of wonder, maybe they have a Hammond composition in their back pocket and they're kind of just saving onto it.
Yeah, it's definitely a potential option here. But, moving forward, I have to wonder, Nevermore, they're probably going to be switching off of some of these characters. I don't know if I would anticipate Tony playing on this Moira too much. Rari probably not going to be sticking onto the Doomfist for much longer. Juice Ice, yeah, maybe they Hammond, but I would say probably not. That means that they try to reset up the Bastion onto the cart now that they've taken this second point and their spawn's relatively close? Or do they still just kind of run with what was working for them? To a degree, working for them on the successful pushes of the first point. I don't know. I think you could set the Bastion back up if you really wanted to. It's just a little risky given how the defense was playing earlier.
Right, and with only 2.5 minutes left, basically the barest minimum to take point B, the allure of the Bastion is kind of big, especially since you did a pretty good job of clearing SkyeBurn off the point entirely. That is literally your reset opportunity. You have spawns, you have again, it's very realistic that they could get a Bastion back on the cart. However, given their failure with pushing through point A with a Bastion, I have a feeling they're not going to be sticking with it. I have a feeling that Nevermore is going to do their damnedest to push this cart just as far as they can. I would be curious if Nevermore still anticipates a full map clear. If I were Nevermore, I could possibly be thinking of a situation where we just push the cart as far as we can. It doesn't matter. They might even be thinking of holding SkyeBurn to not even getting past that first choke on point A.
Yeah. Now, I have a question. Do you think that if they go for if they switch off the Hammond, do you think they go to an Orisa, or do you think an Orisa kind of a slow push comp, or do you think they go onto something like a Winston and go back to the triple?
I think they've got to go back to that Winston. It's unfortunate for Nevermore, but I think we're also seeing from them a kind of not a reluctance or an inability, but the kind of situation where that's their best composition. We didn't see that point A get busted open until Winston, as Waltham had noted, dived into the backline and started wreaking monkey havoc. It took an ult. It basically took ultimates to make that fight happen, and if ultimates are the only way that you can win a fight, Winston's cleave is probably one of the best options you have.
Yeah, and I mean, especially if it's going to be kind of swaying SkyeBurn to switch on to tank targets, it's not the easiest. Winston is now a lot more proficient against those tank targets. It's not as easy to tank against a Winston because he does more armor damage from back, I believe it was 2-3 months ago. Now instead of dealing half damage, he just deals a 20% damage reduction, which still isn't bad. He's going to be building up ult charge a lot faster than he used to, and with the number of people he can hit, it can be pretty significant charge in itself.
Yeah, it's going to be up to SkyeBurn and how they want to handle this particular defense. Streets phase being very different from that point A take. You're not expected to be necessarily going up against a Bastion. Nevermore, again, may or may not run it, so we'll hold that judgment call. I want to note, though, that Russian Cows has spawned, and they appear to be not going off of that Roadhog. So it's possible that when Bowie gets back in, they're going to be jumping back onto the Orisa. And honestly, it's kind of been working out for them. If the Winston hadn't been able to dive some very serious backliners, that defense honestly may have held pretty handily.
Yeah, there's no saying what would have happened if things hadn't gone kind of a different way with Juice Ice and their performance on that tank. I think mostly, well, not mostly, but a large part because Cry, who, you know, was just getting so or Ford, who has just been getting so bullied by Juice Ice, has been performing to a very good degree. We've seen some massive plays coming out of that player. So it's kind of no surprise that, you know, when that player who's been, you know, very pivotal for the team, I'd say, gets taken out with no chance of even a remake, it can be crippling.
Yeah. So I don't know, like me. So this could actually be an opportunity, since there's a number of spawns coming online for SkyeBurn. Could be the opportunity where you switch to maybe a more traditional composition, maybe even hitting in with the 2-2-2, maybe even hitting in with even just a more damage heavy comp. This is do or die for SkyeBurn. They must stop Nevermore. If Nevermore completes the map, I think that will be the nail in the coffin for SkyeBurn. I don't know if they'll be able to finish the map in the same way, shape, or form. We haven't seen them on Junkertown though. Maybe their pirate ship is just that much better. But from what we've seen so far, they can still be broken, even on a map of their choosing, with a hero ban favoring them theoretically right now. So I don't know. It's kind of a tricky situation. Maybe Mercy. Honestly, maybe Mercy is not the only healer you really need right now. Maybe you need to throw in there some of that Moira action, someone who can evade that Winston that's probably going to become hurling at you in a momentito.
Yeah, or somebody who can peel. You don't really need to avoid if you have the rest of your team to really be there and provide relief for you instead. But the concept is there. You want to avoid that Winston. And just still, I believe, about 4 minutes left on pause for the side of SkyeBurn before we have to go ahead and proceed. But that being said, still not sure what the deal is with Bowie. Might just be doing a hard reset. Might have been playing Overwatch so hard that the game crashed. Who knows? We're going to have to see. Our producer is letting us know as that develops. But we still just do have kind of a little breather here. And, man, it's, you know, with all this high-intensity action we see sometimes, it's nice to just take a little break. A little snack break for the viewers at home. A little time to go grab some sips, some munch.
I mean, not everyone has the opportunity to go refill their beverage during the breaks. And of course, with the Overwatch Watchers Brawl, we don't have commercial breaks. So, you know, it's pretty much just nonstop action from the start to the end. So yeah, we can, you know, in terms of silver lining, this is the way you want to do it, right? Like, just maybe accidental, hopefully, like, nothing bad happening. I really would like Bowie to get back into this game. Because I would genuinely hate for SkyeBurn to see it end here. Because, of course, you can't win the 6v5, not against actual trained teams. It's possible in your ladder matches, ladies and gentlemen. We've all been there before. Like, holy moly, have we been there before.
Threep's getting a little sentimental here. But, yeah. It would be kind of a way to go out with the ultimate whimper instead of with a bang on the side of SkyeBurn if they just got DQ'd because one player wasn't able to be here, or even if they just lost the map because one player isn't able to be here. I'm going to hope that that's not the case. Sounds like the player is going to be restarting their PC, so hopefully they can make it before the pause break ends. We'll just have to see, however. But let's go back to a point you made earlier, Threep. Are you telling me that not everybody has a soft serve machine right by their desk right now? Is that what you're getting at?
Oh, so I moved recently, so my soft serve machine isn't set up yet. So I honestly, like, yeah, no, like, it's a rough situation, and honestly, I'm getting a lot of flack from the missus about it. So, like, yeah, it's a touchy topic, but, you know, you make do with what you can, you know?
yeah, I can understand that. It's just, my heart goes out to those poor souls out there. I live in the South where it gets very warm, so I cannot imagine not having a frosty treat here. Actually, I can. There is no soft serve machine. It's a lie. The cake, from what I heard, it's not a lie. I heard the cake's real.
Oh man, but a cake isn't cold enough to make this heat die down.
What if it's an ice cream cake?
Ice cream? Ooh, an ice cold ice cream cake could be pretty awesome, honestly. Like, it would be pretty rad. I would be a happy, man. I would be very happy. Man, why you gotta do this to me, man? Why you gotta be like, the ice in my water has melted a long time ago. Like, these teams have been playing enough Overwatch such that they are literally going to kill me.
Well, Threep, to be fair, when you cast with Waltham, you have to acknowledge that there's a very high chance at some point during the cast, food will be discussed. That's just a part of me. And these pauses, I'll be honest, they're not helping. We've talked a lot about team comps. We've kind of gone over as much as we could about these teams. But this pause really just kind of taken us through the ringer here. Do only have a few more minutes on it, but you know, it's kind of my go-to. I mean, everybody has their go-tos. You know, you talk about all the different casters in Overwatch fame. They all have different things they like to talk about, and you know, mine's food.
Yep, and honestly, as far as food goes, like, boy, am I a big fan. So, like, I'm not actually a big fan of human being. So, we are, unfortunately, for SkyeBurn, going to be seeing the end of pause time, and this is going to be this first caster's, you know, sad boys moment. Like, this is a no buenos tiempos. So, huge moment for SkyeBurn. This is the be-all, end-all. If they cannot get a sub, or maybe just kind of, like, hack their way into it, it's just, this is rough times. So, you know, again, speaking of those ladder matches, boy, is this still technically winnable by SkyeBurn. Technically winnable.
Yeah, and it's looking like SkyeBurn going to be coming at the last minute. They do have a ringer/sub coming in. Might take a few moments. Not really sure if the producer is going to be letting this fly. We will just have to see. But SkyeBurn might be able to cling to life here just to give us a final map performance. You'd really hate to see it go any other way.
Yep. And so it's, you know, word on the street says that Bowie is possibly going to be getting back in, but the fact of the matter is SkyeBurn is definitively out of pause time, and this is not going to be allowed again as tournament regulations have demanded. So this is going to be a very tricksy situation, but as we have mentioned, you know what I could honestly forgive?
What's that?
If Bowie was just like, I'm gonna go, like, I need a steak. If there was going to be a way for me to win this match, I just need some, like, meat. I need to get some blood in my system, and what better way to do it than to feast upon the yum-yums of the delicious, actually, my mouth is watering this.
Yeah, the thing is, Bowie just suddenly forgot that he had a date with a witch doctor who was going to guarantee them safe passage through the rest of the tournament. So Bowie just went, oh no, and just immediately Alt F forward out of Overwatch, ran down to the local witch doctor, running back here right now, hopping onto Discord. And now that I can only assume it's a blood ritual, but it might not be a blood ritual. It may be a sweat or tears ritual, as is familiar with those of you familiar with Overwatch witch doctorings. Which I am not, as you can tell. But that being said, running back to now hop into the seat now that the hopeful pact has taken effect. If the witch doctor meta is in effect, we're gonna see a massive swing back from SkyeBurn.
Wow. So, okay, here we go. So, you know, speaking of the witch doctor, like, one of my buddies running that through right now, and they're having a great time. Like, they're pushing pretty high. It's up to GR 80 for them. And it's rough. I'm actually doing the Necromancer because I heard the Anarius set was buffed. Oh, wait, sorry. It actually looks like we might be having it. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly. Ladies and gentlemen, Junkertown, we're here. I know it's been a long time. Thank you so much. Don't forget to ping your friends. Let them know the game is on. And here we are. We're so ready. I'm going to be so happy about this. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. I want to see your chats. I want to see your MVP votes below the stream. Make sure to just catch that real quick. And it's going to be super awesome. And, oh, come on, man. We got Russian cows. We got Ford. Ford's so close to a bomb. Let's talk about Ford real quick. So Crawley has been clearly a diva bomb maker in the happening, but we've been seeing Ford, despite the losses coming in, just demonstrating sheer Poco possibilities.
Yeah, I think the difference is Cry gets massive bombs because of help from It's Math Pro. Ford does it a lot more less duoistically, if that's a word. Ford
now.
Kind of seeing those opportunities and making it their own. So really both have their advantages, but Ford in this situation probably looking a little bit better for where to be having that Diva Bomb online as opposed to Cry.
Yeah, very important as well for SkyeBurn because they're going to be the only ones with an ult coming into this fight. And yeah, even Bowie going to be ducking onto the Winston here to match Juice Ice, who gets immediately focused down. But that's both main tanks for either time, so we have once again devolved into Brawl status, and Nevermore has been showing themselves to be a little bit of the edge here. Essel does go down thanks to Harry Happa generating way too much charge that Nevermore should be comfortable with, and yes, verily, the Russian weightlifter to another Russian weightlifter is going to indulge in some fisticuffs to make that stop being a thing.
Yeah, and I'd like to talk about for just a brief moment how equal we've been seeing Juice Ice and Bowie perform. It's so many times been where we have both tanks drop at the same time in terms of death. Another sub going to be coming in. It looks like things are just not panning out for SkyeBurn, but they do seem to have a sub already lined up. So we're going to be seeing that sub hopefully come in place for Bowie.
Yep, and it's a super rough situation. We even saw Nevermore. They had to bring in a last-minute sub in the form of Crawley, and so now it looks like blessed. I was wondering what player was going to be joining. Maybe like a sequence of numbers and letters and whatnot. Instead, we get Banana. You know what,
Yes.
Banana? I can handle Banana. Like Banana.
Wait a minute.
No,
Hold on.
no.
Cut the feed. Cut the feed.
It's a G-rated stream. I can pronounce Banana, no problem, no issue. But we've seen some nasty stuff. No, actually, no offense to actual nasty, because he is a player, but he couldn't make it here tonight. Rip in pieces. So we are gonna have Banana coming in for Bowie. So it's curious. I'm not saying Bowie was holding SkyeBurn back. Bowie was actually doing some really solid options on that Reinhardt and then even there on the Winston. So super curious as to what's going to be going down with the Banana, since he is going to be taking the role of the main tank. And that's not a role that I personally would love having a sub come into.
Yeah, it's a very it's kind of a leadership role, right? Like obviously you're the front of the team, so in the context of actually being in order, in physical position, you're at the front. But also there could be a lot you have to communicate, right? So you have to if you're in the front, you have the ability to see most of the enemy abilities. If you see a Zarya use a projected barrier or a self barrier, you're the one most likely to see that, all that kind of stuff. And it makes it quite interesting. It's something that, again, we talk about. It's risky to throw a sub in there or somebody who's not as familiar with the team if you have a lot of strategies going forth. However, kind of one of the benefits that we can talk about with these teams leading triple is that it's triple is predominant enough to where people know how to play it, at least in this rank, right? At least in these very high tiers or higher tiers of playing. We see that the concepts between triple is not one that is outside of most people's grasp.
Yep, and it's just poopy. It's just grumbly, and I don't know. I honestly I don't even know. I don't even know what I can drop in here.
Yeah, it's I mean, to be fair, it's not like Nevermore's exactly over themselves with laughter. We're seeing a little bit of condolences coming through, saying that, hey, this is a tough spot to be in. So, Nevermore still being good sports about it. I would say that, a lot of the time we have had some teams in here that have been pretty toxic, but Nevermore, good players, usually come equipped with some pretty good mentalities and attitude. So I think we're going to be feeling pretty good about that. I like seeing the good guys kind of rise up to the situation.
Yeah,
but
and
we're gonna be hopping back in soon.
And we are, and the pause is out. So Banana is in, they're rocking it. They are, of course, going to be ducking onto the Winston. I hope they explained that Reinhardt is banned, because boy, is that a shocker to wake up to. Especially if they are a bit of the Reinhardt specialist. But they are going to be jumping out, they're ripping, roaring, ready to go. And Nevermore, not looking at the no, they actually are looking at a pretty massive ult advantage. Thank you very much. Russian Callus, however, going to have a trans, and Harry Happa also with the Grav coming online, and they are not going to be poorly equipped.
Yeah, and this is going to be kind of a slobber knocker until ult start going to be going back and forth. Banana getting caught out first, though.
Yep, Banana goes down very early in the fight, which means no main tank is no good times. Diva bombs and trances going out for everyone, and Ford once again finds the big times. Like Waltham said, Ford is enabled by his team, but damn if he isn't capable of taking advantage of that.
Yeah, absolutely going to be. And I'm liking the stabilization that's coming out from SkyeBurn. This is much more first point and a lot less second point that we've been seeing. Second point, I can't say I'm too surprised given the player issues we've had for the last, I believe it was 15 minutes or something along those lines. But now we're kind of starting to see things equalize a little bit more. Both Lucio's going to be having that sound barrier online, meaning that they will be ready to go, dropping that barrier. And really, it's just going to see how these play out.
Oh, I freaking love it. Banana being exactly as aggressive as you need to be with that Winston. They enable the kill onto Essel. They chase the Lucio away. Crazy awesome. Momentum literally has to retreat, or rather Momentum literally has to advance just to keep up with Banana. And Banana has already built to that Primal Rage that Juice Ice had to hold on to in that fight because it just wasn't happening. Fascinating. Crawley even ducks off of the Baby Diva to get back in mech with the 1 minute remaining.
Yeah, it's costly ult, but the collapse comes onto Banana. That might be, but the Primal Rage is going to come out from.
Yeah, huge. Even the barriers organic against stabilizing. Now this is the Sky. Whoa, huge! This is the SkyeBurn on Junkertown we were looking forward to seeing.
Yeah, Banana definitely seeming to be the shot in the arm, or maybe a stable team looking to be the shot in the arm that this side needed, that this team needed. To really get themselves going. If they can hold it here, this is not bad. This is a very comfortable spot if you're able to get it through Street's phase. Usually the third points can be a brutal task.
Yeah, this particular choke has held many a professional team, not even to least to say these people. Ford once again pulls off the Diva 2.5k, and SkyeBurn literally obliterates Nevermore from the point. There will be no overtime here, ladies and gentlemen. The point stops right there. The payload is dead. We're moving on to SkyeBurn's brand of offense.
Yeah, and hopefully they can play it a little bit differently than we saw come through from the side of Nevermore, who ran that Bastion, you know, I wouldn't say stubbornly, but they just, it didn't feel like they got as much value for it for as long as they ran it. You know, they waited for the Bastion to die. I believe the first time he died and couldn't get res, he, you know, Essel swapped off onto that Brig, but it still felt like that. By that point, they had burned 2 minutes off the clock without even getting past the second major bend. So really, it felt like it didn't gain a whole lot of utility. Curious to see if that's going to happen from the side of Sky this time.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting situation. So so we can only assume that SkyeBurn picked this map not only and then banned the Reinhardt, not only because of their potential proficiency with it, but also because of their ability to run the pirate ship. However, what we're seeing right now, there it is. All right, Ford. How you gonna debate me? How you gonna do it? But he's hanging so close to the door, Wolf. I don't know, man.
I don't know. We talk about it. It's not that uncommon. This is looking like the standard pirate ship, and I gotta be brutally honest. I don't know if there's much debate here. What I am kind of interested in is instead of the Roadhog, Crawley going to be going on to the Diva from the defensive side, meaning no pulled pork. Their sandwiches will be porkless on the side of Nevermore. Instead, just going to be going for the Diva, perhaps trying to mitigate a lot of damage.
Oof, and Essel finds everyone with a well-placed Sonic Arrow, and it looks like Momentum even going to be swapping a little bit just to do a little bit of that chicanery. So Banana sets up on the Orisa very close. Oh wow, but Juice is there with the halt, and bam! Oh no, but still SkyeBurn's going crazy! Banana enabled kills for days!
Yeah, and the res is going to come through, but it's still going to be a man down on the side of Nevermore. Even more getting that shot. That was incredible. And really, Widow be Widows are kind of one of those things where you can take that, you can kind of contain it within its own bubble. And right now, this positioning from Nevermore going to be tense considering they have to get onto the point. Ooh!
Russian Cows even finds it organic, grabs Tony. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is kind of the SkyeBurn that they were expecting to see onto the Jesus, onto the Junkertown. When they call the shots, they make it known. Thank goodness they got that spawn in there, because holy moly are they making this happen. They just finished that point A with way too much time in the bank.
Yeah, it's Mathpro going for a Mercy Res onto Tony's Zenyatta. Not sure if that was the play, considering that Tony, you know, was being surrounded by, I think it was Harry Happa and Ford. They're not really able to get away, just going to be feeding a little bit more charge to those two players. But right now, speaking of ult charge, there's not a lot working for Nevermore. They have not been too proficient at getting this composition dislodged. I'm going to see if it makes a difference here this time around.
Yeah, so, oh, jeez, Harry Happa has no equal right now, because they're murdering everyone! Zenyatta, Juice, Isol, they're just, oh, well, Banana actually killed Esol. We're not gonna, you know, credit where credit is due, because holy moly, the payload is just moving! It's honestly like watching Nevermore push the payload, except that SkyeBurn's actually just murdering everyone.
Yeah, this is brutal because SkyeBurn, as we talked about, does not have far to push it at all. They don't even have to make it fast. First point, Harry Happa, why haven't you been on Widow for... Love to see it on Li Shang. You are performing amazingly right now.
Yeah, this is the kind of thing where, there it is. Oh, snaps. Crawley immediately gets DMX, but Russian Cross goes down. Crawley actually does murder Harry Happa in Baby Diva form. That's the kind of vengeance you like to see. So maybe Nevermore starting to stabilize. They're even going to get some ults coming on live right now.
Yeah, this will be the swing back that they absolutely needed. Will not have that grab bomb combo that has a lot of that punch power, but Esol dropping means that if the side of SkyeBurn's able to get back into the action soon enough, they're going to be fighting up against a team without a nerf. Oh my god, Organic going to be taking out Rory. You do not like to see that. And the hook!
Yeah, the brutality is insane here, and yes, the hook does bear fruit, thanks to literally 4 members of SkyeBurn acting in concert. It's bizarre, with the quantity of subs coming in, you figure their coordination would be down, but instead, it's only better than ever. But Esol actually runs in to contest the cart with a rally on their own. Diva Bomb goes out, but the backline is real, and the kills for SkyeBurn keep coming in. They take Junkertown. They are still in it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, wow, SkyeBurn, after they get their player issues settled out, definitely going to be coming back strong, not going down that third. It looks like they are setting up for the reverse sweep, but they still have 2 more games to go if they want to make this round their own.
Yeah, utterly insane. So, again, fantastic play from SkyeBurn on Junkertown. Literally so dominant that their push... we could have almost played the entire tournament match in the time that it took Nevermore to do their push. Instead, however, not only does Nevermore, they're picking the map, they're banning the hero. This is not good for SkyeBurn. We need to see exactly that level of play from them if they are going to survive this next match.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough. They have a lot of things that are outside of their control on the side of SkyeBurn, I mean, and that's kind of the advantage or the disadvantage of having to do a reverse sweep. Is now you have everything going against your favor, and you can't drop the ball once. If you do, it might spell the end of your tournament career, at least in this case for this month. However, Paris going to be banned. Teams not looking like a bunker is going to be preferable on the side of SkyeBurn. And instead, it looks like Nevermore going to be taking Anubis. We might see some more snipers. That's pretty dangerous considering how we just saw Harry performing.
That is a super interesting pick. I think maybe they saw the Paris ban and thought, yes, Assault, that is our bag, baby. Let us make that happen. So they grabbed Temple of Anubis. Unfortunately for Nevermore, as Waltham has mentioned, and Harry Happa is maybe thinking about, that is a sniper's haven on point A, and full holds on point A of Temple of Anubis is like saying the sky is blue, the Pope is Catholic, and bears go dookie in the woods. So, with that being said, they're saying, oh, what is this? Ooh. SkyeBurn is saving Winston, but they're starting on defense. What?
This is interesting. Okay. Okay, let's see. We're looking at this.
Oh, and Nevermore bans Sombra.
Yeah, I think most teams might be looking a little bit towards that Widowmaker style play. Sombra, of course, kind of the sneaky infiltrator character that can really get in and up in the grill of those sniper characters who can just be so telescopically focused sometimes.
What in the snaps is gonna happen here? I am literally at the edge of my Hang on, can we get a product placement here? Killa Bee gaming chair. To turn around and look at it. Sorry, Killa Bee, you're comfy, but like it didn't stick out of my brain. In any event, okay, so Nevermore still starting on attack though. Okay, so fascinating. Nevermore banning Sombra, which means definitively they have no intention of ever running the Sombra, as I quote, enabled 3-3, even though it ceases being a 3-3, but let's be real, folks. 3 supports is the only way that Brigitte can actually function as a hero in the game. Rip in Blizzard. Anyways, that being said, though, no Sombras for any team. Winston is a definitive save. So, SkyeBurn, if you come out of here without a Winston, I'm going to be a little sad.
Yeah, it's going to be... I don't know. Maybe now that they have Banana and they're seeing the Banana most fittingly with the name on most comfortable on that Winston. Maybe wanting to keep them on there, given that Banana might not have the flex to go on to another the Anchor tank or the Reinhardt Deathball tank. So I mean, it might make a little bit of sense. I can't really get into the mind of the teams right now. However, don't seem to quite have definitive plans laid out. Although I'm hoping that Nevermore is not playing with my heart right now. Cry on the Hammond.
Nah.
I hope. I can hope.
Nevermore is doing that anyone in spawn is throwing trick. So they're definitely just jacking with us. It's not even a question. So here it comes as they switch. No way. No way. No way. Oh, yes. It's real, people. It's happening. It's a Hammond Orisa. I have literally never seen this comp before.
Yeah, and the Bastion Sim. This is a mess of a comp. And the teleporter's coming in.
What even is happening right now? I don't even know. What's their win condition? What's their game? It's clearly Crawley going to the point because he's there and he's going to have a hard time of it getting out of there. But that gives his team chance to get in, maybe set up a teleporter. Yes, they've taken big high ground, so to speak, and Crawley is just still doing crazy damage. No kills coming in yet, but the big setup is the Orisa Bastion, and 4 does get demeched. It is happening, ladies and gentlemen. Nevermore is going to take point A with the craziest. Oh, but Estel goes down. Organic follows, and Rory is forcing out the Bastion ultimate. Do they get anything from it?
It's not seeming like you're going to be taking down Banana. This is a little bit brutal. The nano boost coming out might just make the play here.
Look at this! He's going to point, he's going to take out Harry, but he gets slapped and goes down! It's bonkers! Nevermore doesn't get anything from that, but god damn it, was that the most entertaining Overwatch I've seen in ages.
Yeah, that is pretty good. It looks like they're not even going to be switching off of this too immediately as I say that. Going to be seeing both teams kind of just holding at the choke. And I really like this play. For a moment, I couldn't understand what Cry was doing going to point so early. Just seemed to be a little bit of a distraction so the high ground could be taken.
So here's the Grav coming in. Banana gets the cleave damage for days. Ralwi, it's Math Bro just going down so fast, it's not even fair. This is kind of crazy though. SkyeBurn committing way too many ults to a one fight, and that is bad times for them. Meanwhile, we're looking at almost the ult-pocalypse for Nevermore. Literally only Ralwi without ultimate.
Yeah, it's going to be looking very good. And Raleigh, if they can get set up, oh no, the sleep onto the Hammond play by Cry, that might be a little bit crucial.
Yep, that was huge. And so there it is, though. They are going to be dropping into point. The Ana is focused entirely on them. That means no heals for the rest of their team. The Symmetra teleporter then does go in. Are they going to be able to get anything out of this with the Orisa benefit negatory? Essel actually goes down. The big booster goes down as well. The bomb gets no one. Nevermore not really looking as dominant as you would like to expect with this crazy composition, which is a shame because all that does is prove the point that 3-3 is truly good.
Yeah, Nevermore, I have no idea what they're going for here. I don't know if this is a practice thing. They have the Bastion up on the high ground, but really, Rory may not be able to utilize this distance, proficiently enough. And it's a little too late for them to switch if they need to.
Yeah, with a minute left, it's going to be Ralry and the Nano Boost. This is going to be a real thing. All right, so here they go. The Nano Boost does go in onto the... okay, so here... Oh, no! Oh. He gets ripped apart so quickly! Russian cows! What are you doing? You can't kill that many people. It's not fair!
Yeah, Russian cows definitely showing on his time served. and the original Overwatch unit. But now the switch is coming out onto the side of Nevermore. They're going to be switching to the triple, but it's going to be a bit too late, I anticipate. Man, this was an absolute flub, it's seeming, for Nevermore, unless they're able to pull off some major plays off the back of this triple now.
Yeah, banger of a match, but Banana, again, despite the Reinhardt shield, is just going to be getting so much damage. Essel goes down thanks to a well-placed anti-nade that Crawley wasn't able to eat. Tony follows, Juice goes down. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been a rather rough showing from Nevermore, who tried something crazy, and it's not really happening.
Yeah, this of course puts SkyeBurn in a pretty good spot. The grab going to be coming out just to ensure nobody gets onto point. But SkyeBurn has to make one tick in order for it to be tied up at the 2.
I want to say Ford got a 3K at the end there.
Just a casual 3K. Just a no big deal 3K at the end in the grab.
I know it came out in slow motion mode, but they had to have fired that Diva Bomb off before the thing. And yeah, blah, 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 blah. More importantly, SkyeBurn, you have your work so cut out for you, it's not even funny. You literally could get forced to a draw here. That is technically true. And yes, you kept Nevermore from getting a third. So what Nevermore is now setting out to do is very possible, but all SkyeBurn has to do is take a Goram tick.
Yeah, I think that's, if you want to play this super conservatively, if you don't want to get flashy with it, if you just want to know that you can win the tick, you just play, as much as you can without burning ults. And then you get some ults that can really combo in a supreme fashion. So I'm talking Zarya Hanzo, something along those lines, where we used to see those old school Dragon Ball combos just get some massive damage go through. But it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. On defense, however, we're going to see the Bastion come out once again. This time, I imagine it's going to have a little bit more impact than prior.
So we have the Orisa Diva, which is a solid composition. Diva gets to contest the point while Orisa sets up the bunker. Meanwhile, however, the addition of the Bastion means that everyone's just that much harder to kill. And of course, Essel on the Bastion. Tony on the Batiste. Meanwhile, however, Banana's Winston proficiency has been pretty crazy hardcore.
Ooh, yeah, hard to be hardcore, though, when you take a headshot from Rory.
And there we go. Oh, bam, there it is. They find the Bastion very quickly. So interesting, Nevermore deciding to take a even differenter approach to their defense that they are with their attack. And it's not a 3-3 definitively, and it's super working out for them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we talk to bunker comp. It's weird. They're playing bunker comp, but they banned Paris. I don't know. It's one of those things in hindsight. It seems a little bit weird. But really, SkyeBurn not seeming to be able to get onto the field here.
Yep. Instead, now they're going to be forced to take that high ground from the Nevermore, and Nevermore is saying definitively nay. They have murdered the Russian cows. They've demeched Ford. Essel is gonna get focused though, but instead they're gonna be able to heal themselves back up. Tony doesn't go down though. That's crazy and huge. SkyeBurn pulls it wide open.
Wow, this was amazing. SkyeBurn going down. I believe it was 2 members at the start. Not going to be phased by it, however, getting that first tick and taking Anubis. It's bonkers. It's 2-2.
Bonkers. Utterly bonkers. Both teams now fighting for their lives. It's a super rare situation. Waltham and I love it. It's maximum Overwatch, ladies and gentlemen. We're going in to the 5th match. We're seeing some really solid play. And yeah, Nevermore totally had that fight, and then just they collapsed because SkyeBurn decided that Organic and Momentum were gonna pop off like crazy.
Yeah, wow. I think that SkyeBurn play exactly how they needed to there. But on the other hand, I don't want to sound toxic by saying this, but Nevermore, what was that attack comp?
Yeah.
Like, yes, there was theory behind it. There was a reason they probably ran it. But they stayed on it for 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. And at that point, you either have to know it's going to get some value or acknowledge you're not going to get anything for it, because switching's not going to really work. You have no ults if you're switching your entire team setup. That's tough. That is tough. And if Nevermore loses because of that, I guarantee they're going to be kicking themselves.
So it's never a good situation to be in, right? You maybe think that you have... I don't know, it's...
Yawns indeed.
It's just, I don't want to say that it's tiring to discuss, but we've been over the when is the good time to switch your comp argument. And the answer is, honestly, if 2 pushes don't work, you probably should have switched a push ago. So switch now. It's the, what do you call it? I forget the actual word for it, but it's committing too many resources to a failed investment.
Oh, yeah, it's like sunk cost.
Yeah, sunk cost. Just because you've invested in it doesn't mean that you should continue to invest in it. Like, guys, it's not working. It's obviously not working. You've got to get off of it. So again, we don't want to lambast any particular team, but Nevermore going into this map, they are going to have their work cut out for them. So, that being said, super interessante. SkyeBurn banning Oasis, Nevermore immediately selecting Hollywood. I am flabbergasted. I have no idea what they're going for here.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised it's taken us this long to see a hybrid map. Eichenwald and Hollywood. Eichenwald not banned, I don't think. It's only been Paris, Ilios, Oasis, and Dorado that have been banned. But, usually we see Eichenwald come in. Teams seem to prefer that a little bit. Wonder why that's not the case with these teams here.
Yeah, and honestly, given SkyeBurn and Nevermore's proficiency with these particular compositions that these maps tend to favor, you would expect them to be a little bit seen, but not only has anyone not banned Eichenwald, but no one's even selected it. Meanwhile, the first hybrid map we are going to see is Hollywood, which has a very specific style of bunker. And also, it kind of, again, it favors Widowmaker. Like, we're going to see Harry Hap on point B, should we even get to point B. I don't even know what's going to go on. So the save is Winston. And yes, SkyeBurn's still going to stay on defense. So what does Nevermore do? They're banning Mercy. That's not the hero to ban for bunker these days. You actually have to start thinking in terms of Batiste.
Yeah, it may not be that they're thinking SkyeBurn's reliant on that bunker style comp. But if you ban the Mercy, that cuts down a lot of the venom in the Widowmaker bite. You don't have that damage boost. You're not able to get those cleaner reses from the kills. So I can see it. I can see that they might be calculating the Widowmaker to be more impactful in the Streets phase and even maybe during the third phase. But it's a risk. I think it's a risk that they're willing to try to gamble on. But we're going to be rolling on in here. And boy, it is getting down to the wire for these two teams. This is going to be the map, barring any ties, that is going to be deciding it. This is it for the chips, folks.
Yeah, I don't know why. Hollywood is definitely a map where, hybrid maps in general are capable of ties. It's funny though, I don't see that happening. One of these teams is going to be able to take this through, and it's super weird for me to say this, given the dominance of one of them over the other for the entirety of the time. I am going to refuse to actually say my case because, boy, am I good at getting debated. But it's not going to happen. Instead, we're going to see a defense coming out now from SkyeBurn, who has, thank God, stayed on the left side of my screen the entire evening. Organic, I swear to God, if you don't leave with Tracer, I am going to... Yep, yeah. Come on, just be done with it. You're the worst.
The real tell there is the fact that Momentum waiting to give that speed boost, making sure that they don't fall too far behind. But, we still have hope on the attacking team. There's still Rari on that Widowmaker. Might just try to get an early pick or two, then go back into spawn and switch on to that Zarya. But right now, we're seeing the triple banana on the Winston. That means that SkyeBurn might be playing a different type of triple than they have been for the first two maps.
So it's interesting, SkyeBurn with the Winston going out here means you're functionally operating as a counter-diving team. You're waiting for Nevermore to make the move with their Reinhardt, then you're going to dive on top of them with the Winston to get that maximum cleave damage. You're going to murder their backline. Yep, there it is. Winston dives right in. He gets booped away, though. Juice gets slammed, shield bashed, and is the kill going to come in? No, Juice goes far away. Ooh. They are going to get murdered for their sins of leaving their team.
Yeah, Essel also getting brought dangerously low, and all around kills are just flowing like water.
Yes, hashtag unbindcharge is a real hashtag. Look it up. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Reinhardt and you're in that situation, you do not charge away from your team. You are depriving them of your 2000 HP rectangle that is very important to that composition, as Nevermore are now learning. Meanwhile, Banana's sitting on way too much ult charge for his own good.
Yeah, a lot of ult's going to be built up on the defensive side. SkyeBurn having 3 online Zarya grab and D. As I like to talk about, very impactful combo we might see go online here, and what I predict is going to be about 3 seconds if it's used right off the gate. But it's not. It's not.
Now, Essel probably going to be leading the way with this charge, knowing that its Math Pro is going to have his barriers online, ready to rock and roll. But if they're tracking ults, they should know that Harry Happa has not been killed and has way too much energy. And, yep, fires the grab right behind a D.Va, and that's going to be so much damage. The bomb goes in, though the barriers was there just in time to make it happen so that it doesn't happen, but Juice's Ice's shield goes right down. It's going to be a trade. Russian Cows is out, but again, I'd rather have a support go down instead of a main tank.
Yeah, it's weird kind of what I just saw happen. Banana pops the Primal just to focus down Essel. And meanwhile, the rest of the side of SkyeBurn is going to be choosing to chase this team back to chase Nevermore back to spawn. And like, yes, I get it. You don't want to let that Brig, you know, survive for too long and get back to the team. But they are so separated. What's the harm? Like the Brig's not going to survive if the rest of the team's already dead.
Right. And so Harry Happa throws the grab, dies quickly though. Shatter goes out, grabs no one. The barriers is there to keep the rest of SkyeBurn alive. And Juice Ice does go down. Banana follows. And now it's Krawi's turn to demonstrate their D.Va proficiency. This is definitely going to be going the way of Nevermore. SkyeBurn's very good defense undone by some well-placed ultimates.
Yeah, and, you know, that was pretty conservative from Nevermore too. They managed to keep a couple of ults in their pocket, but SkyeBurn gonna be having a couple of their own, the Primal, the Bomb, the Rally, all things that are gonna have to be kept eyes on if you're on Nevermore, because that's a lot to handle on your plate if they're all spinning at once.
Yep. It's... and here we go, the Rally gonna be leading, they're gonna be zoned for some of that spawn stuff. And it's crazy, but there's no kills. The barriers was there, so SkyeBurn, they have to retreat. Banana, again, as Waltham mentioned, sacrificing that ultimate. He's way behind enemy lines. There's no way he gets out of there alive. Yes, he does die. Bad times for SkyeBurn's defense.
Yeah, however, it's going to be main tank for main tank. It's going to be a little bit more favorable for the offense, though. D.Va Bomb might change things.
Unfortunately for Ford, none of that poggers, bombers kind of thing happening, but Harry Happa, they're going to pick up the slack. They grab Tony, and again, it's looking like a pretty successful spawn stuff right now for SkyeBurn.
Yeah, we're now going to be seeing for the first time Banana making their Reinhardt debut, switching from the monkey himself, and it's amazing that they were able to stabilize SkyeBurn onto getting the full 6 back in line, given that they had to do it basically short-handed an entire fight.
Yep, so SkyeBurn again showing some pretty dominant ult advantage. The grab goes in, the transit's there, however. Another grab gets thrown out courtesy of the Harry. Whoa, hang on a second. There it is, Banana goes down, having switched onto the Reinhardt. The Shatter is out, Harry Happa, Ford goes down. What is this? How? SkyeBurn, what are you even doing? No, you can't do this. You can't get this many kills. Krawi even demonstrates the D.Va ultimate is capable of being tossed out for literally no reason whatsoever, as SkyeBurn again maintains solid dominance.
Yeah, it may just be one of those situations they did not want to get staggered, but oh my goodness, this full court press is getting brutal at this point, and really, Banana just kind of looking like a mannequin at the point, just trying to hold it down.
Wow, Banana does find Rauri. They are going to throw out the Shatter, but SkyeBurn is just, and now they're actually in kind of a full retreat here. See, this is important. They've recognized that their full court, the spawn stuff, is not working out for them. Juice Ice is trying desperately to capitalize on their possibly split, but unfortunately for them, Sky is going to get all of their heroes back in line, and they're going to be able to do a good solid hold on point B, but they have taken up exactly the time they needed.
Yeah, really, that is going to only be favorable. Big slam coming through, gonna get 4.
Wow, unbelievable. And Krawi hits the grab! What? No! Nevermore turns that completely around!
Yeah, that is some optimal ability usage. I talk about it all the time, how one ability canceling out one ult gets a lot of value, especially when it's the Diva Matrix that, you know, only needs to be up for a half of a second, if that, to really neutralize that ult. And wow, Harry Happa going to be licking their wounds trying to come back from that one. Not going to have a lot of charge either.
They do have some serious options, but Russian Cows in momentum with the support ults and Ford having his big bomb ready, but they're going to be going up right against the mirror, and Rawi even's going to have grab. The barriers is thrown out prematurely, but Ford's bomb still gets Rawi and Ford. What the hell? Ford, your bombs, they're way too strong, but Point B was capped! Holy moly!
That is so unfortunate. It was looking so good for SkyeBurn. I could have sworn they had numbers on point that entire time. But apparently it just didn't shake out that way, and oh man, they're gonna feel pretty bad about that.
Talk about kicking yourself earlier as a 4-man shatter goes into the line of Nevermore. I think SkyeBurn is looking forward to punishing, maybe not even themselves, but just Nevermore for the audacity of capping Point B, which is massive, by the way. Another minute's added to the time bank. Ults are now back online. That could have been a full hold, but instead, rather not a full hold, but you know, you got it.
3-space hold, yes, but I find it interesting. Usually when we see this aggression come out, it's brought on by the main tank. Just Banana's been pretty conservative lately. It's entirely on the side of SkyeBurn.
Yeah, they're getting focused down very quickly. They are going to get somehow alive despite charging its Math Pro to their doom. Trance coming out from Tony. That's going to keep the members of Nevermore alive just long enough to make it happen. Juice, now it's their turn to get force low. Banana also, and Ford throws out yet another bomb. Does it get anyone? No, but momentum is there to make sure Juice Ice dies as a result. Essel goes down. It's 30 seconds left on the clock, and Nevermore has their work cut out for them.
Yeah, they certainly do. And man, SkyeBurn, they let that second point up, but they are not letting you get much farther than that. They're not even letting it get into the movie theater yet, or the production theater yet.
Yeah, backstage pass is being denied to Nevermore right now as they try desperately. With, however, grab barriers and bomb in hand, and it's going to be organic, dropping the rally to make that start. So that looks like SkyeBurn is going in for a very quick kill. Ford eats Rory's grab, and then Banana murders them as a result. The bomb goes in. Juice Ice is going to find organic, but it's looking very good for SkyeBurn right now as the grab goes in. The trans is there, so no kill's going to be coming directly from it, but there's the shatter. It actually finds no one, so it's still quasi an equal game, but SkyeBurn makes the kills necessary. Main tank trade though, the bomb is out, the chips are down, and it is an all-out brawl in overtime on the point that Nevermore is starting to turn around.
Yeah, it does not look like it's going to go in favor for SkyeBurn. They're staying just a little bit too long on point. They maybe get a more solid hold later on down, but it doesn't look like that's going to be the case. Harry Happa going to be dying on the point. And oh my goodness, that was an incredible amount of overtime. And on the plus side for SkyeBurn, now they just have to get the opposing team Nevermore off the cart for a moment, and that overtime wick is going to burn down way too fast.
It's going to be up to a grab. Both Harry Happa and Rawi have their grabs ready to go roughly at the end of this fight, but Rawi generating with that charge kept over from the end of that fight. There it is. They've got 92, 94. It's going to happen. They're in to win it, and boom, here comes the grab. The trans is there from Russian Cows. No kills coming in yet, and bam, there it is. Nevermore finds and DMX Ford.
Yeah, that might be the opening that's needed here. That deep not going to be able to put a lot of damage, but the grab coming in again.
Oof, and the big shatter comes in, grabs two, but nothing capitalized on top of it. The barriers is coming in from both sides. SkyeBurn putting up a tenacious defense, and the spawns are definitely on their favor. Big shatter. That was it. That was the cart.
Yeah, that was a big shatter coming through from Banana, meaning that nobody could even get to cart. And oh man, you gotta feel good and bad about that if you're SkyeBurn. They had such a solid hold right at the beginning of third point, but they didn't let themselves reset enough. They kept pressing the fight a little too much. Saw it a couple times at the beginning and end of that second point phase, or that second of the streets phase, but it just, oh man, this is an entirely different SkyeBurn we're seeing, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. What they missed on point B, they 100% capitalized on point C. So again, you know, we like Junkertown was a little bit of a weird situation where defense, or rather, no. Junkertown had the situation. You don't finish the map, you are at risk of losing it. We are exactly the same situation on Hollywood. Nevermore didn't finish the map. So
Yeah.
SkyeBurn, if we continue to see this, what I will refer to as the new never before seen SkyeBurn, at least as far as Wall3's cast is concerned.
New formula, SkyeBurn.
Yeah, right? It's just crazy bonkers awesome, and this could be massive for them. Banana, I have a feeling this isn't a debate. Banana's going to be sticking on that Winston, and I think it's going to do as well for them on offense as it did for them on defense.
Yeah, it's no doubt their momentum not seeming to be as boop friendly as its Math Pro. Its Math Pro seeming, at least during that first half, like they had those boops and manipulations down right off the bat. Might be trying to knock Banana outside of that jump zone if they can really get that opening. But yeah, we're definitely going to be seeing a winner this time around, since the map did not go all the way to 3 points last round.
And point A was kept from being held. There it is, Banana ripping himself over to that high ground, getting some juice drops. It's going to be big. He gets anti-nated. He is going to get focused down immediately. SkyeBurn is going to blow this point wide open. Banana does go down. But again, it's in terms of main tank loss, that's not good for the Reinhardt to be down. But, ooh, massive. SkyeBurn's going to have to be struggling for this one a little bit, but ultimately the man advantage is so dominant in their favor, with Harry Happa generating, again, way too much energy and damage. Well, maybe not too much, but the Juice Ice is not going to have a good time holding this point.
Yeah, it certainly seems to be it. A lot of damage going to be coming through. The contest coming back in might be a little risky. Ford throwing out the Diva Bomb, that's also a risky gambit. You don't want to throw out resources that aren't going to help you take the fight.
Right, and it forces the Zenny out, and wow, Juice Ice gets anti-nated again, and now it's time for Happy Heart to go crazy. The Diva Bomb comes out though, and that is gonna get Harry, knocking them down from their charge. Good times. Nevermore, despite almost 91% of the point getting taken, are gonna stabilize with 2.5 minutes left.
Yeah, Banana's quickly getting off that Primal Rage, already trying to build up that ult once again. Both Zarya's going to be having grab up Diva Bombs for the side of the attack. SkyeBurn going to be, well, can't really tell right now as the Diva's re-meching. Gonna be just about the same distance from the side of Nevermore. But the high ground going to be taken. Nothing going to get caught, not a lot going to get caught in that grab at first.
Wow, most of the members of SkyeBurn actually wandered into that grab of their own volition. Meanwhile, Juice Ice demonstrates that they're still a Reinhardt worth reckoning with, and rip off a huge shatter. Nevermore definitively taking a fight now, and with 2 minutes left, SkyeBurn has their work cut out for them, but only a tick to make it happen.
Yeah, SkyeBurn not in the worst position, but they do have a spot to make. They do have a limit to make, however, rather. Harry gonna be about the same charge as Rory, so both Zarya is not feeling too sour about having to use their ults, at least comparatively. And Banana keeps trying to go for these high ground pushes, but keeps getting knocked back the last moment. Doesn't seem to be working.
Oh, and there it is. Banana has their ult online ready to go. The Alakti has been thrown out. The rally is there, but Organic goes down so quickly, but they're not going to get to throw their rally into it. Is that a bonus or a plus? Who knows? Ford gets demeched. Ultimate's not being thrown out from SkyeBurn. This could be a bit of an interesting situation if Rawwe and its Math Pro weren't just about to get ultimates further up.
Yeah, a lot of things to consider in this next push. We have almost 6 ults online for SkyeBurn. We have, it's looking like 3 on the other side. How do you take this? You don't have Harry to really lock people onto that top barrier. I don't think you should go for the dive the first time around if you're Banana. I think you should just try to get possession onto the point, wait for the team to drop down, and then try to take high once the team's dropped.
Yeah, you have to force the drop rather than try to boop them off. Yes, the barriers comes in now, however, from momentum, the bombs are in. Yeah, that's not going to result in any kills, but the grabs and the trends are here. Juice Ice finds Organic, though, not good for SkyeBurn, and it's Shatter going out, grabs a bunch. Banana going down. Nevermore, it's 25 seconds left, and Nevermore is looking like they are going to solidify their victory here. As Juice Ice goes charging way back, and Russian Cows gets sniped out by Tony.
Yeah, it is expensive. They probably won't have that Zenyatta for the push here. Somebody's gonna have to get on the point to touch. It was looking so good for SkyeBurns as they started this, but if they can't make something happen with this push going into overtime, it's not gonna work out for them to go into the finals.
Yes, and with a Primal Rage leading the way, Banana, however, despite the massive HP, looking very bad. They're forcing the translate from Tony, but here comes the grab from Harry Happa. Is anything going to happen for this? This is it. It has to happen here. So SkyeBurn has any chance, and there it is! Juice Ice goes down! It's Rari's grab coming in, though, and Harry Happa goes down as a result. But again, a main tank going down is a Nos Buenos Tiempos. But Ford's Big Bomb doesn't get anyone, and SkyeBurn now looking for something to save them, but a barriers from its Math Pro not going to be what the doctor ordered, and that's just Nevermore looking more and more dominant on the point as they get kill after kill after kill.
Yeah, this is really a shame. Towards the back end of this fight, it just does not seem like the focus is really coming through for any of these players right now on the offensive side. SkyeBurn not going to be taking it. Nevermore crushing what was looking like an almost successful reverse sweep, but that means they are going to be moving on to the next round in the losers bracket.
Yeah, fantastic play from both teams. Nevermore with that defense on Hollywood, literally, I think, in terms of like crux moments, if we had a sponsor, that would be the play they'd be highlighting. The play where SkyeBurn had it to 91.2% and they still couldn't force it through because Nevermore came back with the tenacity of the gods and made it so that they would not be giving it up, and they are here, they're winning it, they're moving on. Good games to SkyeBurn. Of course, you almost had the reverse sweep happening, but Nevermore proved to be just a little too strong in the end.
Just a touch, and we are going to be hopping into a post-game interview here in just a moment. But before we do that, we just want to remind you lovely people at home to go ahead and vote in that Twitch MVP chat while we get Jabber jawing. Let us know who you think the top player of the night was, just so we can get those votes in and casted. Let the teams know that, you know, with all of this play coming through, one player in particular stood out, really make their nights, especially considering how long these players were gaming here tonight.
Yeah, it's kind of insane. We pretty much extended the limit for what you would expect for a first 2-3 Overwatch tournament match.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, but yeah, y'all stuck with us till the end, and we super appreciate it. So it would be a disservice if we did not give you the absolute maximum pleasantries possible. So again, make your voice be heard. Vote for that Twitch MVP. We super love seeing what teammates come up with. Based on what we've been seeing in the super secret caster's booth, play of the game seems to be going to Ford a lot. No surprise there. The sheer quantity of the Diva Bombs coming off from this individual is just crazy. Unfortunately, not enough for SkyeBurn to turn it around, though.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know, you can have some very good plays, but they have to be consistent. They have to be good enough to continue to carry through, you know, not just one fight, but multiple fights to get those performances, you know, getting long enough. Getting those offenses to go long enough to get to certain checkpoints or to hold a, you know, capture point for long enough. It's really kind of just how consistent can you get?
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is that Nevermore was the ultimate consistency here. They had such a strong showing initially, and they struggled. There's some questionable compositional choices, and then it's that Hollywood map. They took it as far as they could, and then they had that stuff. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, we have a very special interview that Waltham and I are going to handle tonight. It's the post-game. It's the welcome. We're going to have the Tony from Nevermore.
Hello.
Tony, welcome. Welcome, and congratulations.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
So, tell me, Tony, how you feeling after that? It was a long game. How you feeling?
It's a roller coaster of emotions for me, and the team in general. It's I need to go. You know, it's a weeknight, so it was like the worst outcome as far as like how long it took. You know, with the pauses and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it was just a roller coaster.
Yeah, certainly. I certainly can't blame anybody there for just being a little bit sleepy or, you know, less than sharp when it comes to that kind of performance. It was. I used the word slobber knocker a couple times, and I think that kind of describes it very well.
So Tony, in terms of tournament matches, is this the actual longest you've ever had to hang in there for a match?
I'd have to say so. I can't imagine any of them being any longer than that, you know? Like, it was like 20 minutes of pause time. Some of it was for us, I'll admit, and then a lot of it was for them. And then went to 5 maps, and yeah, even though they steamed us in some of the later matches, it was still took a long time.
Yeah.
Nothing but the truth.
When SkyeBurn started pulling out Banana on Winston, and it seemed like it started going in their favor, do you guys think that was because of a different playstyle in main tank, or were you guys just getting a little bit tired? Do you think there was anything that kind of caused that shift, even though it wasn't a shift enough to make them win the round?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a combination of things. It wasn't just one thing. We definitely had a mental, like our whole mental state was different after that long pause for sure.
Right.
And when they brought in Banana, it was like a combination of that plus they were playing it completely differently, and he plays a lot different than Bowie does, and it was just a big change for us, and it was very tough for us to overcome, especially when they pulled out that hog Orisa on their offense.
Yeah, it definitely seemed to be pretty potent as far as, us looking at it from here was going. What do you think kind of helped you guys kind of turn it around, recompose yourselves, and get back in there for the final Hollywood take?
We just had to get back to basics. On Anubis, we tried to do the Symmetra Bastion, which has worked for us in the past. It's not a troll pick for us. That's a real thing. But with Vanguard not being in the lineup, when we do those things, we have people, that our sub came in, and he's not familiar with that. He wasn't as comfortable with ball. And so once we got back to the basics of goats, that was the big thing for us to try to get us back into that middle state and, the comfort level that we needed to take Hollywood.
So super awesome play, by the way, on Hollywood. The mentality going into that final push, or that final defense, the moment when SkyeBurn had 91.2%, you guys decided to go back in, you re-engaged, and you actually won that out. What was going through your head right then?
My head was just, well, initially it was like, oh my god, I just killed that brig when she at me. That's insane. That hardly ever happens. And then immediately after that, I was like, whatever, we're just gonna throw everything in the kitchen sink. If we lose this, that's fine. We get sit back. But it was all a blur. I was just like, because their monkey was really good about jumping out. So I'd be like, monkey, diva, no break, because they were really good about diving in and out. So that's what the comms were. They just usually is with goats, you're like run. But on that fight in particular, we were like swap 5 or 6 times before you find a security kill. So it was mad. It was crazy.
Beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I'm gonna take a note from Threep's question book. I see that you play a little bit of support. What is your favorite character to play, just in like quick play or when you're goofing around with your buds?
Oh, so only support, or are you talking about any in general?
Anything. You could say Widowmaker. You could throw out a Sim, Torb pick, whatever's your preference.
I like Doomfist. Doomfist is just you have to just pushing people in the wall with that right click is pretty much the most satisfying thing, because I've been on the receiving end many times, and it's just you're alive 1 second, you're dead, and you don't know what happened a lot of times.
Yeah, it's relatable. I wish I was good enough to know that feeling with Doomfist more often, but that's just how it goes sometimes. But I think that's as far as I go. All the questions I had. Did you have anything else you wanted to kind of ask?
I mean, I think at this point we should let the poor man sleep.
Yeah, it's a weeknight for sure. Enjoyed my long weekend. My sleep schedule's all messed up. So.
Yes. Did you partake of any Memorial Day activities?
Yeah, we went out to a barbecue. It was lovely. It was a little bit hot. Summer's setting upon us, but it definitely was a nice time for sure.
Yeah.
So good stuff.
Yep, definitely. Well, we are just waiting on our producer to give us the MVP vote results so we can go ahead and let you lovely people at home, as well as you, Tony. You're a lovely person as well. Know who our MVP is going to be. And it looks like MVP is actually going to be for Russian Cows. Russian Cows, congratulations very much for getting the MVP of the night. That being said, I'd also like to give a big old thanks to SkyeBurn for being here and participating with us. A congratulations, of course, to Nevermore for being able to make it to the next bracket. And thanks all of you for being able to, come in here, hang out with us, watch these little games that we call Overwatch, and just, let all these teams and me and Threep have a great time. But I'm going to go ahead and, unless I'm forgetting something, I'll go ahead and sign off for your casting entertainment. It has been me, Sir Waltham. You can catch me on Twitter, Sir Waltham Gaming, or Twitch, Sir Waltham.
And thanks to Sir Waltham keeping me honest, it's Threepwood007 at Twitch and Twitter at Threepwood007.
Fantastic. We hope you guys had a great night, and remember to stay safe out there. Good night, everybody.